Hey, Prime members, you can listen to Crime and Sports early and ad-free on Amazon Music. Download the app today.
In the depths of an Atlanta forest, a clash between activists and authorities ends in tragedy. I'm Matthew Scher, and on my new podcast, We Came to the Forest, we expose the hidden truths behind a shootout that left one activist dead and countless lives forever changed. Binge all episodes of We Came to the Forest ad-free on Wondery Plus.
Hello, and welcome to Crime and Sports.
Yay!
Oh, yay indeed, Jimmy. Yay indeed. Thank you, folks, so much for joining us. I think I sound a little more normal this week.
You do. You
Less
sound fantastic.
Sick. Thank you for everyone who braved through me sounding fucking awful.
It was a great show.
But thank you guys for joining us. My name is James Petrogallo. I'm here with my co-host.
I am Jimmy Wisman.
And we're excited to be here.
Yeah.
Thank you for sitting through Bob Sweeten last week and that disastrous human. What a piece of garbage human.
How do you fuck your own daughter?
We have asshole or idiot, and he's in the evil category, which is a separate. There's
monster.
asshole, idiot, and monsters, and he's in the monster category. Today, though, if you play asshole or idiot, this is pure asshole, baby.
Fantastic.
This is just pure asshole. It's a guy that you can just dislike and just dislike and keep disliking him, which is always the best episodes. Those are always fun.
Just run on dislike.
Yeah, you don't want anybody with a moral of the whole thing where you're like, oh, you know, I mean, Willie Mays Aikens, great story, but happy ending, and we were all a little disappointed with that. I remember at the end, I was like, I got to be honest, I feel a little. He's doing well. I don't feel good about this.
He wasn't preaching or anything like that.
He was just
like
doing
telling his bad story,
doing his job, working in baseball, and not being a shithead anymore.
Which is helpful,
which is good for him in society, but for us, not as fun.
No.
Today, I guarantee it's a mess, though.
Great.
Let's do this. It turns into a whole family being a mess. Thank you guys so much for your iTunes
Why does
reviews.
that always fucking happen?
That's what I love. It's because there's usually a seed planted somewhere. That's why. This is one where like two of the three siblings are disasters, and then one is like an upstanding, perfect citizen. But we'll talk about that. Thank you guys for your iTunes, Apple Podcast, whatever the hell it is, reviews this week.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. They really, really help us get noticed, which you would hope would happen by now. It's Crime and Sports and episode 131. But you'd be surprised. So please get on there and compete with the small town murder reviews, which have tripled yours
and
now.
Eclipsed fucking most podcasts.
Yeah, that's a juggernaut in terms of that, and we appreciate that.
Yeah.
But please do this for us. Get on there. Give us 5 stars. Tell us you're following instructions, following directions. It doesn't matter.
I love how goddamn negative you are.
Well, you know, I am negative because at some point it feels like I know what chefs feel like when they come up with something that's really kind of innovative a little bit and a little different, but it's like it's right. And you say, here it is, and someone takes a bite and they go, I'll just have a chicken Caesar salad. And you're just like, but that's
Do you know how much
dressing
work went into that veal?
I'm just using Newman's own dressing. I'm not even making my own. Fuck, man. You want that? Not that that's not small town murder, but I mean, that's just how a chef feels. When and we present this, and the people that see it like it, and other people are like, I don't like sports. And they just go, and you're like, all right, well, what are you going to do?
Thanks for giving it. Never mind.
Yeah, never mind.
You didn't even give it a try.
Give it a try. You're here now. This isn't you, obviously, when we're talking about stuff.
It's just,
thank you
cracks
guys.
me up because I love how angry you get. And
I get angry because I like this show, and I think it's really good.
I love the show. And there are thousands of podcasts that would love
to be where we are with the show.
Their children for this.
for the numbers we have for this show, But
on their own podcast. They'd open a child on their podcast just have the numbers we have.
Hey guys, thanks for joining us on a very special edition today where we gut my youngest child.
Special.
Where we gut my firstborn son.
I'm so sorry, Timmy.
Sorry,
for
Timmy, but I need some ratings. This is going to do it. We're going to crack the charts. No, we're on the charts.
Around, Junior.
We're on the charts and we do all of that. And it's all fine. But when you watch Small Town Murder grow, like just huge, like it is
like
miracle
a
grow on.
Wildfire.
Shit's just spreading and growing. And you see Crime and Sports, and you're like, it's the same. It's the same. It's like, let's look at the numbers now. Let's look at the. Oh, okay, never mind. So, but it's so much fun, and this is a great show. And trust, we can't stop doing it. First of all, we don't want to stop doing it because we like it. We've had a lot of people because we complain once in a while. They're like, please don't stop doing it. We are contractually obligated to do this fucking show. So. That's not saying that's the only reason we're doing it, but even if we were like fuck crime and sports and wanted to stop, we're not allowed to.
We can't.
So it's happening. So let's do this. If you want to help out the show,
there is nothing more amazing than something that's contractually obligated.
It is. It's like, well, you know what? That's what it is.
Yeah.
We have a goddamn piece of paper. So it's happening.
Like when a comic gets booked for 6 shows straight, and then on Sunday night there's 10 people in the audience.
It's like, shit.
I'm contractually obligated to do this shit.
I have to talk to you people.
I signed a piece of paper, and that's why we're here.
Yeah, but that's not why we're here. No. We honestly would do the show anyway, even if nobody listened.
This is the one that we started.
Yeah, we started it, and we like it, and it's fun.
Great.
And also, if you want to help out the show even more, you want to be a superstar and tell us that you like the damn show, besides the iTunes and Apple reviews, whatever the hell, you can go over to patreon.com/crimeandsports or head over to PayPal, use our email address, which is crimeandsports@gmail.com. And you can make a one-time donation there. Head over to shutupandgivememurder.com.
Yes.
And you can find all the links to everything there to donate, links to tickets to live shows for Small Town Murder, and not for Crime and Sports, but they're on there. So do that. See what happens? You get live shows. So let's do this today.
Let's do it.
Let's look at our asshole of the day.
All right.
He's an asshole, this guy.
I'm sure he is.
And he always says he's not an asshole. Yeah. According to him, he's just such a misunderstood guy that's living with the burden of a youthful indiscretion.
The best.
That just crushes his soul because he's different now. He's very Christ-like, and it's just, you're going to love him. You're going to love him. It's Billy Tibbetts. William Tibbetts,
running back?
Known as he's a hockey player. He's a hockey player. And I did not do this on purpose. People are going to go, oh, you just picked him because he has the exact same name as the girl who disappeared in Iowa.
No.
Didn't fucking notice that until I was on page 2 of searching him, and I'm like, holy shit, that's the same fucking name and the same spelling and everything. It's weird. That's not what we were.
I don't want to take shots at people, but how dare you start a podcast or do a podcast episode on that already?
People do. People are up that already, but it happened anyway. Didn't do that so people would search and do this. I don't do that. I try to find more obscure people to drive. I try to drive listeners away.
Right.
That's our Crime and Sports.
It's working.
We dare you to listen. That's what we try to do. We dare you.
Yeah.
You heard of this guy? No. Well, we're going to do him. Heard of this guy? Even less? Well, let's do him too.
We're going to do our best to evade listeners.
That's right. That's what we're going to do. We're going to duck, bob and weave.
Duck and cover.
And do hockey players named Billy Tibbetts rather than doing, well-known people. Let's do this here. He was born October 14th, 1974, Boston, Massachusetts. He's a Boston kid, so you have to put the Boston accent on anything that I say that he says, which makes all of it funnier, obviously. By the way, Boston live show for Small Town Murder at the Wilbur Theater. It's an enormous venue scaring the living shit out of us, so please buy your tickets now before we show up and have nobody there. There's a second Boston Massacre.
But finish that shit out.
But it's a huge theater. That's
Close it up. Go get the tickets now.
So he grows up there. He's a rich kid. He's a rich kid. Grows up to be about 6'2", by the way, 215 when he plays.
Tall and rich?
Yeah, we'll find out.
Fuck, do I hate him.
Yeah, we'll find out. Wait till you hear more, but you're going to hate him even more. You think you hate him now, Jimmy. This is not Jimmy's kind of guy. This is a different kind of guy.
Non-criminal guy in this situation. I already hate him.
You already hate him if he just plays hockey and grows up in a wealthy, affluent home.
And actually grows up. I'm still waiting.
That's true, yeah. He plays right wing, so he's not a defenseman. Usually our guys are defensemen. Somehow as a right wing, he still amasses penalty minutes and fighting like a defenseman, so good for him. He doesn't really give a shit. 6'2", he's about 215, like I said. We'll find out later where and how he puts that extra weight on, because he's a little thin before that. But he grows up in a really nice house. There's this article about him, and it's he grows up here in outside of Boston, like we said. It's Situate, it's called, or Situate or Situate. Situate's what I've always heard, but it's spelled SCI. So it looks like
science.
It looks like Skituate, but it's actually Situate.
Okay.
So we're not going to mispronounce that. Luckily, because I'm from the East Coast and I've heard it before. Otherwise, I would fucking butcher it for 2 hours. So he grows up across from the Situate Yacht Club. That's where his house is. It's right by the harbor.
Yeah.
He's a goddamn rich kid. Youngest of 3 kids, of course. His parents are Terry and Joe Tibbetts. Pick which one is which.
Yeah,
doesn't matter either way.
Flip-flop.
Flip-a-flop them. Joe Tibbetts is a Harvard graduate who served as the vice president of a Boston construction company.
Holy shit!
So he's a rich kid who comes from a very kind of upper crusty.
He got a vice president of a construction company for a dad.
Yeah, absolutely. His sister was 4 years older than him. Graduated from Columbia, which is Ivy League in New York. And was a product manager for Amazon.com.
Good Christ.
Like years ago. The article I saw. This was like, I think 2000, 2001. Okay. So that's where they're from. Yeah, in Seattle she worked too. Jesus. So it's like definite beginnings here. He has a brother who was a football player, and played at Jefferson College before he went to Boston University. Okay. And his brother we'll talk about also. Later on.
Fucking great. What a life.
It's
interesting. I can't
interesting.
imagine.
Yeah.
Like my sister dropped out of community college.
Yeah.
I never stepped foot on campus unless I was doing some sort of electric work.
My family's not a real college kind of family. We're just kind of.
My older sister was a stripper, so that works.
That's good. That's good.
Education.
I have 2 younger brothers. My younger Eric, who you've met, great guy.
Killing it.
Works for Metro North Railroad in New York. So he's a union guy, steady kind of working dude.
A little scary.
Good dude. Yeah. Good dude.
New York guy that is in the union.
Can hold his beer like a bastard too. Really can hold his alcohol. It's very
beer.
frightening.
Fuck beers. That man
liquor,
can drink whiskey.
vodka. Yeah, he's a
fucking
he's a man.
monster.
It's good for him. My other little brother, who's out here, had some issues. We'll say.
Okay.
Nice kid still, good guy, but had some issues.
Some of us do.
It happens. So you never know.
My brother's a trucker. That's what he does.
Yeah, your brother's a trucker. That's good. Yeah, good for him. Blue collar shit.
It's great work.
Yeah,
but it's not.
I bet he's happy for some reason.
I guarantee. I
know
he's happy.
Every trucker I know is actually very happy. They're like, I get away. I get to think. I get on my own. People leave me the fuck alone for hours at a time.
Which is bananas because he smokes a lot. Well, I don't know if he still does, but he used to smoke a shitload of weed.
Yeah, I don't know if they can.
I don't know if he's allowed to anymore. I don't know if he just canceled.
Is there drug
quit.
tests?
Yeah, there should be.
Canceled? I canceled my subscription to weed.
That program's been canceled.
It's been canceled. My weed smoking program and put it on the shelf.
I don't know if he just quit or what the fuck he does
now.
Maybe
he did.
I don't know. Listen, who knows?
Who knows? Billy here began skating at the age of 4. So very, very young.
Ice skating.
Yeah, ice skating. Yeah, he's a hockey player. The teacher at where he went called up the mother to see if her kids wanted to play hockey because they really liked hockey and they were all pretty good skaters at a young age, so they did. When he's younger, at age 9, Pittsburgh Penguins scout Neil Shea, who ended up later on finding him again, as we'll talk about, he saw him play at age 9. Age 9, this guy play hockey. Saw
and he liked it.
Billy Tibbetts. Yeah, he said, quote, he was always head and shoulders above everybody athletically. He was just wild and rambunctious. When you're that age, you have that kind of energy. People look at you like you're crazy.
Yeah.
So, but this guy as a scout saw what he could do on the ice and just saw he was a 9-year-old hyperactive kid.
Impressive.
Yeah. He was so good he started playing in his older brother's league because he was better with the older kids. He's very, very aggressive all the time, physically aggressive and on the ice, and he's just an aggressive cat.
They didn't put that together for later yet?
Well, for hockey, they're like, that's great temperament you got there, son. Right. Yeah, get in there.
Stick
that right in his throat. That's where you want to jab that thing. This is a brain damaged sport, and this man, I feel like, has garnered and just extracted every bit of brain damage he can out of it. He embraced it. He embraced it. Problems in school all the time. His mother is Terry and his father is Joe, by the way, in case you, who knows how you had him. You might have had him flip-flop.
Maybe mom was the president. You don't know.
We don't know that. No, but Terry and Joe, either way. So he says he couldn't sit still, or she says he couldn't sit still in school. He had problems. His mother asked the school to hold him back for a year in first grade to kind of catch up to the kids in maturity, but they said no. His mother said, quote, he had no attention span. Because of that, he was causing trouble, dropping pencils, getting frustrated, answering teachers back. He had an attention disorder, and he was hyperactive. Yeah. So that's...
He had ADHD before it was a thing.
Yeah, when I was a kid and when you were a kid, it was like, that kid's an asshole. Right. That's how you said it. It wasn't like, oh, that kid just needs to,
he needs a pill.
He needs a pill and he'll calm the fuck down. They were just like, nope, he's fucked up, whatever, gone.
And they wanted to hold
dismissed.
him back.
Yeah.
And they're like, no. If we hold him back, then he's bigger than everybody. He'll beat the holy shit out of everybody.
Now we're in trouble. Yeah, that's...
He's beating the shit out of kids his own age.
Yeah.
We're going to hold him back a year?
And that was in elementary school, but they just kept passing him in elementary school because, I don't know, he was... They just didn't want him, I guess. The teachers were like, all right, I'm done with this fucking kid. It's yours now.
We're going to have him another year? Fuck that.
Yeah, he had trouble, though, in middle school a lot. He had trouble academically, he was terrible, too. He just had trouble paying attention. He was ADD. And for those kids, it's hard to pay attention in school and sit still and all that sort of thing. But he was never tested for any learning disabilities back then, because back then it was like there was dyslexia, and that was it. Yeah. That was the learning. You're either... Hate to say it, but this is what they'd say back in the day. It was like, is he dyslexic? No. Is he retarded? No. Well, he's fine.
He'll be all right.
Shut the fuck up and stay in the back of the class.
Put on the cap and move the tassel.
That's
fucker.
it. Yeah. That's all it was. That's all they did with kids like us. They didn't even try. Right. It was, it's the way it was. His mother said, quote, he was very rambunctious and not a good student. It had nothing to do with his IQ. He was a smart kid, but he was inattentive. He couldn't sit still. When he was little, I kept saying, keep him back, but school said there's no need to keep him back, except that he's immature, which is why you'd keep him back. So it took him a long time to mature. He was very young for a very long time. He's still pretty fucked.
Still catching up.
He's still got I'm tapping my watch here. He's still got a little to go on the maturity, I feel like anyway. And he had every opportunity. That's what makes me annoyed.
When you're from that family, you've got every opportunity. Guys like you and I didn't have this shit.
No, we didn't have every opportunity.
Private schools.
No, we had. That's the school that is in the district that the bus goes to.
Get in there.
Get over there. They
run
don't
away
have
from the bullies.
Yeah, they don't have a program. Yeah, that's all it was. Good luck. Enjoy.
Run, fucker.
There was. Yeah. What are you doing? Run, pussy. Not even fucker. Run, faggot. That's all it was.
Yeah. It's true.
Wow, we've gone there and Jesus Christ, in the first 20 minutes.
It's been pretty politically incorrect, but that's just
what was happening. That's what they would say to us. That's not from me. That's what your dad would say to you.
Right.
And
your stepfather.
Yeah.
When you come home bloody, does he look worse?
Is he faster?
What?
Or is he fast?
I'm bleeding. What are you talking about?
I bet everybody out there, I heard this once, somebody told me, I can't remember what adult told me this, but this is what an adult told a child back in the day. Said, I bet you anything that everybody out there, you're either tougher or faster than them, one or the other.
Yeah.
So that's it. If they're tougher than you, you're probably faster than them. You can run away. And if they're faster than you could probably beat the shit out of them. I'm like, that makes no sense. And somehow all the sense in the world.
What if I run into Mike Tyson?
That's the problem.
Who is much tougher and holy shit faster.
That's the other problem. What if there's a really athletic person and I'm just like, I shouldn't have ran. It made him more angry. And he's beating me.
Greg
he's pummeling me.
That piece of shit. You beat the ever-living fuck out of me because he was faster and bigger.
That's a problem. Yeah. You got to be really quick. I guess work on your speed or your right hook. I'm not sure what the message was to me. But
I caught a hold of him, but holy fuck. He tore my pants. That motherfucker. That's how bad he kicked my ass. I was bleeding from the hip.
That's bad for a childhood beating. Yeah. Normally they don't attack joints and limbs. Normally it's just for face and stomach.
It's because he beat me so bad I was trying to run and I slipped and fell.
And
then slid on my hip.
Well, don't blame him for that. You fell.
Oh, I went back to his house. I hit him in the face and then he beat the shit out of me again.
Well, good. At least you tried.
But I felt good because he was black.
You got to try.
In his eye. I mean, his eye was black.
I would hope so. Just his eye? Not the rest of it? What the hell's wrong with you?
I felt good for beating him black? What?
You felt good because you just said, I felt good for beating him because he was black. Which I'm like,
what am I doing?
I looked at you like, what are you talking about? And then you're like, no, he's a white kid with a black eye. Yeah, I get what you're saying. You beat his eye black.
Right.
That's what you were trying to say. Not, I beat a black kid's eye.
Holy shit.
And I'm happy about it.
What am I doing?
Not only were you happy about it, you were happy because he was black.
Because he's black.
He said, I hunted him down. I said, come here, mister. There we go. That's one for the white race.
Black.
And I fucking gave him a shot. Like, that's wrong. You can't do that.
Greg Mortensen, he sounds super black, right?
Yeah, totally. Well, and Phoenix, too. I pictured it in Phoenix, so I'm like, definitely wasn't a black kid. I know that for a fact. It's definitely not. So this idiot here, Billy, this is how many opportunities he gets. Well, first of all, he loved hockey growing up. He loved the Bruins because he grows up in Boston. He was a big fan of any goon that the Bruins had at the time. He liked the fighters. He liked the tough guys. He was very much just all Bruins all the time. He knew all the stats. He knew everything.
Awesome.
He says, quote, I'd watch them on TV with my dad. My mother would make me go to bed before the third period, and I'd sneak back downstairs, and my dad would let me watch.
That's nice.
So right away, mixed messages of what you're allowed to get away with and all that type of shit that I feel like it sounds just folksy. Like, oh, my dad, that's cute. And if everything worked out well and he was retired from the NHL with, you know, a beautiful home and 3 kids and a job as an announcer somewhere.
And a bust somewhere.
Security
space,
and all that job, you know, financial security. I would say, you know what? His dad did the right thing. But the fact that where he ends up, he told him that hockey supersedes other shit and rules, I feel like. And
Don't
that's what
listen
ended
to
up
anybody
happening.
else if hockey's involved.
No. He went to 2 private high schools, 2 different ones because he got kicked out of them. That's when you know you're a rich kid. If your parents send you to private school, you get kicked out and they're like, we'll find you another one. Don't worry. Not my if my parents somehow
forget it.
pulled it together enough to pay for private school, which was not even a remote thought possibility or even like a thing anywhere, and I got kicked out. Oh my God, would my father would have murdered me. He would have
legitimate death.
If he wasted, you know, $8,000 and I got, he would have killed me with his bare hands.
My mother and my stepfather would be on TV with that fake face going, just bring him home. Just bring him home. And all the while they'd know that I was in the backyard under about 3 feet of dirt.
That, or he would find the worst school in the world to send me to, like the worst public. Which one has the most stabbings? You're going there.
Run, pussy.
South, run, pussy. Jesus Christ. Oh my God. So then he also ended up attending some public schools too. While they were looking for private schools, they had to have him in school.
Well, they were all too full.
Well, exactly. With all the other spoiled rich kids. All of them, his grades were low. All the teachers said he was disinterested. He had no interest in it. All he cared about was hockey. And he'd often wouldn't be able to play for school teams because of his low grades. So he'd get hockey taken away. He'd be ineligible. And so now he had nothing to do, and he's a pissy, angry, hyperactive guy who wants to fight and play hockey and has nowhere to fight and play hockey.
They call that a spoiled brat.
A spoiled fucking brat, and it is a bad cocktail. There's a little time. I hear ticking right here, just in the background.
This is such a white problem.
Oh, this happens. This isn't even. I don't even know what the fuck this is. There's another shade of white that I'm not familiar with. This is
so much privilege.
His mother says, "quote We kept trying to do our best to find the right school for him." What? My parents said, that's the school the bus takes you to. That's the school. Don't get kicked out because that's the only fucking school you're going to. Unless you find another one the bus comes to, because we're not fucking driving you. So
absurd.
Good luck.
What a fucking statement.
Run or fight. That's it. But don't get kicked out. My dad used to tell me that all the time. I don't care if you fight, just don't get caught. That was his thing. If you get caught, I'll be mad at you. I'm like, well, that's not a message to send. That's not exactly. You're telling me to do bad things, but do them carefully? What are we, in the mafia? The fuck kind of instruction is that? Hey, you got to hijack a truck once in a while. I understand, guy. Listen, look, I get it. But, you know, you pop a cap in the drive, I'm going to be a little upset at you. That's all I'm saying. What?
Dad, fights take a minute. Did you remember that?
Yeah.
It's not one hit run. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I don't know. What are we doing here? This isn't the mafia. Go up, we put 2 behind his ear and get out of there. That's not how it works.
There's going to be enough time
and
for
a crowd gathers. It's a bad thing.
And then they're screaming, and teachers tend to pay attention to that part.
Absolutely. And then also, his mother said, quote, through it all, he skated and played hockey when he could. That would be the other thing. I wouldn't be allowed to play hockey because it costs money to go skate in rinks also.
Yeah, buy you what?
What?
Pads?
No. And
get out there, pussy.
Ice time costs money. Run, pussy. Skate, pussy. So his mother said, unfortunately, they kept taking hockey away, so it was always a fight. Those years from about 7th grade on were very hard for him and for us. Very tough.
Wow.
Very tough. Rather
enabling.
That's what I mean. She's Mama Gilretho Award front runner. runner
Holy
this
shit.
year for her. She's
killing it.
Poor Billy.
Yeah.
He's just this poor Billy, and he has problems, and oh, boy.
Then they'd take hockey from him when he was a bad kid.
Gee, you should have taken hockey from him or something. I don't fucking know.
Food, fucking clothes.
I don't care what it is.
Everything
Private
in his
schools.
room. Right.
Imagine the gadgets and shit this kid had. He was one of the kids who in the mid-90s had like a really cool Jeep.
Yeah.
You know those fucking kids that had a really cool Jeep?
The big red ones or yellow or
to the CJ7s with the 33s tires on. I knew those kids. They had a white hat on with a college team on it with the circle with the thing. We know the kid we're talking about.
Yeah.
Those kids. He was that kid. Yeah. All sorts of cool shit. Oh, this is ridiculous. So very tough. He ends up leaving town here, leaving Scituate, or whatever the fuck, Scituate, and joins London of the Ontario Hockey League, which we've had other people in, and it's the junior hockey league up there. Okay. A lot of kids play through this, as we know, when they're 16, 17. Talented players play this. Mainly for kids who aren't good, because there's two routes with hockey. You can try to do juniors when you're very young and then get drafted 18, 19 into the NHL and play minors for a while, or you go the college route and go play for one of like 5 schools with a hockey team. Like Minnesota, Wisconsin, Michigan.
I don't think Duke has one.
Maine probably has one. I don't know if the Duke hockey team. They have a lacrosse team, as we know of very well, but I don't know if those guys.
The Tar Heels plays hockey.
No, maybe they were doing that in the off season. I'm not sure, but so he goes up there. He plays. Most of the kids go to high school. Like, remember Danton had to go to school while he did this and shit. Like the American kids. This kid just stopped going to high school.
That's it.
And his parents were like, "That's okay, Billy.
Yeah.
Do you need anything? Can we send you anything?
16 years old, no education.
Do you need a new Super Nintendo? Because did you break games? Can we send you anything?
James, he's got a brother and sister going to fucking Columbia.
How's your stereo? Because we can get you a
University.
new one. Well,
And
that's fine for them. But you know what, Billy? You do it all at your own speed, because he's just a little inattentive, and he's going to come around. It's all going to click, and he's going to graduate from Harvard with honors. It's going to happen. But for now, he's just going to drop out of high school.
Right.
But, it'll be fine.
Who's going to wipe his ass up there?
No,
this is crazy.
He doesn't get his high school diploma at all, just plays hockey. And you know what? This is weird that I would say this now, but it's Grace. This is Grace.
That's it?
This is Grace.
Wow.
This is it. He's played some hockey. He's played
16?
some juniors in Canada.
Oh, boy.
And his parents give him stuff undeservedly, I guess would be the best way to put it.
Wow.
That's Grace.
This is going to be bad.
This is bad. To put the future in perspective for you, I will let a childhood friend named Kurt Gardner, who told, I believe, the Boston Globe this description of Billy here. Quote, "He was misjudged a lot because of his temperament." That's a very contradictory statement. Look, he just likes to punch people in the face for no reason and fly off the handle. People think that his character's off because of that. I don't get it.
That.
What's up with that's this whole entire episode is people misjudge him a lot because he's an asshole.
Right.
So they think he's an asshole. It's weird.
They judge him for being an asshole because he's a fucking asshole.
Isn't that weird?
That's bananas.
It's super strange. So once he's 17, he'd been to a shitload of different high schools. He's it's 1992. I'm sure he's got a flannel shirt on and his pants are huge. Who knows? Depending on what kind of music he was listening to, he could have had bright orange Carl Kanai pants.
Or his pants were on backwards.
Could have been grungy. Yeah, we have no idea. Anything's possible in 92. Really, it is. Anything.
He could be a Mac Daddy or a Daddy Mac at this point. Who knows?
He could have a hypercolor shirt with sweat marks on it and people's handprints and whatever other shit they put out back then.
So dumb. So he could say Stussy across his fucking chest.
We
don't know.
He could say Massimo on his shorts, which it probably does. He could shop at Merry-Go-Round for Z Cavaricci's and IOUs. We don't know. Anybody under 35 is like, huh?
What the fuck are they talking about?
I don't know that brand. I don't know that store. That was a store and some shitty brands that they sold with a lot of pleats in them. Just think, why does that pant have so many pleats?
Why is that teenager wearing 50-year-old man pants?
What is up with that? They have a waistline that's, 6 inches high, and then pleats that burst out like a blossoming flower from your legs.
They're insanely tight around his ankles. This is
weird.
Bizarre.
But he's rolled them up tightly anyway, so even if they were loose, he's got them cuffed tightly above his push-down socks for some reason. What's happening?
What the fuck is going on there?
That's the Guido uniform of 1992. So March 3rd, 1992, speaking of 1992, and this is where it really falls apart. So I said Grace. So, I mean, it's 16 going into 17, and it's Things are bad. There is a fight at the Tibbetts household here.
At the house.
At the household in Boston or Situate, involving his brother and him, and who the fuck else knows. His brother, I guess, brought police. The police ended up coming. Billy was 17 years old at this point, 17 years, 5 months. So they charge him as an adult here. He ends up
close to 18.
Too close, Billy. You're too close to be a fuck up. He always acts like his mom can get him out of it, and it's just the principal. That's how he always acts.
Sometimes that's the way it is,
and that's how he is his whole life. Whether it's with hockey and coaches, or it's okay. I'm Billy. I'm a good guy. I'm just misunderstood because of my temperament.
Right. From time to time, I'm an asshole. And people judge me for it.
Well, let's find out why. Right. Yeah, let's find out why. He's charged with a list of offenses, including assault and battery, domestic abuse of his brother, assault and battery of police officers, disorderly person, destruction of property, and threatening to commit a crime. Not good at this point.
What's the threat?
That's not. We don't have the exact. He was a minor, even though he was charged as an adult from 1992. We're lucky we have this much.
You're right,
because this was literally just such a bump in the road. He wasn't famous yet. All these pre-fame ones are so hard to find. Once they're famous, they get arrested. It's on there. But pre-fame, it's like holy shit. Good luck.
He threatened to steal some shoelaces.
He did steal, or no, he threatened to commit a crime. Maybe he threatened to steal some shoelaces. Right. You never know, but he did destruct property. Yeah. So that's a problem.
That's enough.
Bad stuff here. Not terrific. Now, so you'd think he's going to chill the fuck out at least. His parents should be like,
beating the ever-living fuck
he is
out of
under
him.
18.
Right.
My daughter just turned 17. I wouldn't be like, well, you're an adult now.
No.
So I'd be like, you are fucking done. Get in your room.
Everything that you rely on me for is being cut the fuck out.
Yes, except for vital essentials.
Right.
Except for
water, bread,
and
go to
prison-issue shoes. Here you go. Have
Here's
fun.
some fucking Crocs.
Here's some shower shoes.
Some
Enjoy.
knockoff Crocs.
So, Jesus Christ. March 22nd of 1992. This is 19 days later.
Oh, no.
He is arrested again. He's arrested again, this time on charges of intimidating a witness and threatening to commit a crime, both relating to a policeman.
Oh my
God. Somehow he ends up, it's fucking crazy. He ends up threatening a policeman and threatening the policeman's family.
What?
It's nuts, man. He ends up later on in 1994, he's found guilty of intimidation
or intimidating. Does he think he is?
That's what I mean. He's 17 years old. He's threatening cops and their families. Like his temperament. And this will get you misjudged.
It should.
Well, it'll get you judged.
Yeah,
rightly so.
It will get you judged.
You can't, even the fucking.
There's no misjudgment going on.
Even the mafia wouldn't do that. Right. They know better than that. They're
he's
like,
a fucking cop.
I bet he'll tell on us.
Right.
Unless
Don't
he's dirty, he's not going to fucking.
Unless you're going to bury him with zero witnesses, talk nothing to him.
Don't. But he does. He later on though he's found guilty of intimidation. He's ordered to stay away from the policeman whose family he threatened, and he's given a 6-month suspended sentence later and an 18-month probation. Okay. But this isn't even close to it too. Even on the ice, he has problems with teammates and coaches. When he's 18 here, or when he's 17, but it's the year he would have been drafted. He's moving all around to different teams. He starts with the Sioux City Musketeers. He went to Iowa. He went to Washington State, the Tri-City Americans, a team he was playing for. So he's just traveling all around. He ends up joining, like we said, the London Knights of the Ontario Hockey League. Yeah. And things started to get a little bit better for him. This is, after the 2 assaults and everything, he goes and plays for teams, and everything looks fine.
That shit goes away?
Well, we'll see. He comes home to have some weekend home, which we always know never go home if you're a criminal athlete.
Terrible idea.
This guy never moves away. He always ends up home. So
far too comfortable.
Gonna keep fucking up.
Yeah.
Gonna keep fucking up. Well, June 12th, which is my birthday, of 1992, there's a problem. This is the big boy that ends up haunting him his entire life, and for good fucking reason too. There's a party near his house, about a mile away from his house.
Oh boy.
17 years old. There's,
fighting or fucking, which is it?
Let's find out here. There's beers, there's kegs there and all that sort of thing. It's a former military site apparently. There called the Proving Grounds. Okay. It's just like an abandoned area where the kids go to have parties, like partying in the woods or something.
The watering hole in Phoenix.
It's to say exactly in the desert out here, whatever the fuck here.
A few miles from the glass spires of Midtown Atlanta lies the South River Forest. In 2021 and 2022, the woods became a home to activists from all over the country who gathered to stop the nearby construction of a massive new police training facility, nicknamed Cop City.
At approximately 9 o'clock this morning, as law enforcement was moving through various sectors of the property, an individual, without warning, shot a Georgia State Patrol trooper.
This is We Came to the Forest, a story about resistance.
The abolitionist mission isn't done until every prison is empty and shut down.
Love and fellowship.
It was probably the happiest I've ever been in my life.
And the lengths we'll go to protect the things we hold closest to our hearts. Follow We Came to the Forest on the Wondery app or wherever you get your podcasts. You can binge all episodes of We Came to the Forest early and ad-free right now by joining Wondery Plus.
Behind the closed doors of government offices and military compounds, there are hidden stories and buried secrets from the darkest corners of history. From covert experiments pushing the boundaries of science to operations so secretive they were barely whispered about. Each week, on Redacted, Declassified Mysteries, we pull back the curtain on these hidden histories. 100% true and verifiable stories that expose the shadowy underbelly of power. Consider Operation Paperclip, where former Nazi scientists were brought to America after World War II, not as prisoners, but as assets to advance U.S. intelligence during the Cold War. These aren't just old conspiracy theories. They're thoroughly investigated accounts that reveal the uncomfortable truths still shaping our world today. The stories are real. The secrets are shocking. Follow Redacted, Declassified Mysteries on the Wondery app or wherever you get your podcasts. You can listen to Redacted early and ad-free right now on Wondery Plus.
And now back to the show.
Apparently, there was a group of girls there, too, at this party. And one of them apparently drank a lot of beers, drank like 5-6 beers, and then had a couple of shots. And she's 15 years old.
Oh, no.
So 15-year-old girls that have 5-6 beers and a couple of shots might be sleepy afterwards. So
Or pukey.
Or pukey, either one. Or sleepy, then pukey, or pukey, then sleepy. It's probably not going to end well, though.
No.
And if it is, that girl's 15 and she's already can pull that off.
She's trouble.
One
way or another, she's not somebody you want to be around.
No, she's either an alcoholic by genetics or she is seasoned already at 15, which is bad.
I like to call it pickled.
Neither one
way
here.
or another.
What ends up happening, she ends up passing out one of these girls. And what ends up happening here, this 15-year-old girl is taken behind a red brick warehouse building.
Carried there?
Which is never good. Yeah, carried there by 3 boys. 3 boys carry her back there. One of them is Billy Tibbetts, apparently. And they rape her. She is apparently passed out, as all what the witnesses say. And either way, it doesn't matter. She's 15. Now, the way 3 days after this, he's charged with 3 counts of rape of a child and indecent assault and battery on a person 14 or over years old.
An adult.
And he's 17. So I believe it's 16 in Massachusetts as the age of consent, which she was not. Another guy in this, another boy who was, I believe he was 15 also, was also arrested, and they ended up dropping charges on him for some reason. But I don't know. I guess he wasn't the ringleader. Or still, you charge everybody who's participating. What the fuck are we doing here?
Put anything inside her or fucking participate. Didn't say anything. Didn't stop it. Charge that boy too.
Well, what the district attorney says here, a guy named Peter Leary, he says, quote, what Tibbetts was alleged to have done was drastically different from his co-defendant. So apparently they were saying he was the, and he's kind of the alpha of the group. He's a real aggressive one. He's big. He's whatever.
Yeah, we already know that.
We already know that. Yeah. Apparently though, fuck man, this is just, he's charged, like we said, with these with these rapes. She was, how do we put this? We'll put this very.
Sodomized.
She was alleged to have been raped, quote, 3 different ways by the court. All of the ways. Billy ends up pleading guilty to 1 count here, and the judge, we'll find out what he does in a second. It's 1 count of rape, which he says was oral sex, and he still says that's all he did. It was the way he tries to play this is, hey, I was 17, she's 15. We're in the same age group.
Right.
We hung out and we just had consensual sex.
Right.
And they're saying, that's fucked up. Like,
no, it's not.
But that's what they're saying,
right.
Which I think when I was 17, my girlfriend was 15, but it was like a year and a half age difference. If I was early 17, she was late 15.
Yeah.
We're probably, I think I was a junior, she was a sophomore.
Yeah.
We were in the same classes. That's totally normal and fine with that. But I didn't like wait till she passed out, drag her behind a warehouse and rape her with 2 of my friends. That's the difference there. Yeah. I feel like it's just a different thing. We were actually just kids who liked each other, whereas this is a different story.
This is a girl that didn't know him. She got drunk and around him.
Even if she did, she wasn't in any place to consent to anything.
It doesn't make it okay at all.
No.
His story still doesn't make it.
And I'm not saying it's okay to have sex with 15-year-olds, but if you're like in the same class as them and you're 17 and they're 15 and you're like a year and a half difference, it happens. You put animals together, that's how you get them to fuck. I mean, it's not hard.
Yeah, you got to get around each other.
You just put them in the same cage. That's how it works. So, but this is a different thing, is what I'm getting at. That's not what happened, but that's
put them in the same cage.
It's true. Yeah. They will fuck. Even if you put 2 men in the same cage, they fuck eventually. So it's like, it happens. So his attorney, I mean, shit. Yeah. That's how animals are. We're all animals. His attorney, Dennis Ryan, said that Billy made the plea because it put him out on the street and he didn't want to do a trial and then be convicted of, forcible sex of a child, which is probably carries a good sentence. Also, they said that he would have had to register now as a sex offender if he would have gone through with the whole thing, and the charges would have played out this way. And what he pled to, he doesn't have to do that either. He said they would have. Probably won a jury trial, is what they were trying to say, the defense. But they were like, we figured we'd just plea, which means you don't think you would have won a jury trial.
No, there's no way you're winning.
No, not at all.
No.
March 31st, 94.
We probably would have won, but we don't want to waste anybody's time.
You know what? We figured the great state of Massachusetts has other things to do with the tax dollars than
they deserve better.
They deserve better. We figured we'll just take one on the chin here and just so what if he has a statutory rape on his record? Nobody cares about that.
Sometimes you take the L, James.
You take it. You take it for the team. It's for the team.
You build for the future.
Team Massachusetts, baby.
We're going to pick a running back next year. We're going to get better.
Yeah, no shit. That's awesome.
Disgusting.
So this judge here, Judge Mathers, and we'll talk to him later on and see how he feels about his sentencing later on, because we actually have a quote from a judge who
post trial,
post everything, his things going off the rails.
They
even
go
more.
back to him.
Yeah,
got anything to say about
what
that?
What do you think about that thing?
You had a chance to fix.
He accepts a guilty plea and gives Tibbetts, now at this point he's 19 years old, we'll say you, sir, may fuck off 3.5 year suspended sentence and a 4-year probation and a stern talking to.
And a stern, you don't fuck another girl against her will,
sir. You stop that. He said, quote, what you did to this young woman was brutal, and then sentenced him to nothing.
What you did was terrible.
You brutalized a young woman.
I want you to
go home and think about it.
Really have a great day, sir.
You put that white hat on and drive around in your Jeep and think about it, God damn it, because this is ridiculous.
What the fuck kind of... This is ridiculous.
This is fucking silly. So, and then, like I said, he sentences him to nothing. Mm-hmm. So this whole time he's playing hockey. He plays 92-93 for the junior Bruins. He played in 73 games and had 60 goals and 80 assists.
Wow.
In all these junior leagues, he just rips it up. Yeah. He's a really great player. He's a scorer. He can do everything. Also has 150 penalty minutes, and he constantly gets in fights because he can't stop.
Really get to the hole.
Most of these guys,
sorry,
he takes it to the hole. That's if it was a basketball player, it'd be better, but still, I'll take it.
He didn't take it to the net. I don't know.
There you go. It doesn't sound the same.
He gets in there.
He gets
past the goalie.
Take it to the rack. That's not going to work either. Who knows.
He does terrible things to.
He does awful things to anywhere that something can be inserted or deposited. Let's just say that. 150 penalty minutes, which usually these scorers know not to fight because they have to be on the ice to score.
Right.
So but this guy can't stop fucking fighting, even though they need him not to fight. You can't be the scorer and the enforcer at the same time. You can't enforce people the whole point of being an enforcer is to enforce people to not fuck with your score.
Right.
If you're the scorer, how do you do that? Just doesn't work.
He forcibly gets what he wants.
You know
really
what?
Does.
This is the thing, Jimmy, with athletics and in life. He doesn't take no for an answer, and that's what's important. That's what's important. He will never take no for an answer. So with that kind of attitude,
he'll get it.
He's going to go far and end up in places where me and you wouldn't end up.
Never.
No, like the NHL and prison.
Right.
So both of those.
Okay.
93-94, he plays for the Sioux City Musketeers. Only 7 games. Who cares? Doesn't matter. Plays for the London Knights, like we talked about. Has 49 penalty minutes in 14 games there, which seems like a lot. 39 in 9 games for the Tri-City Americans. And also he plays for some other horseshit team and plays 30 games there. And it doesn't matter because he continues to be a fucking idiot. His nudnickery knows no bounds. Now, if I was this kid at that whole point, I would be walking the straight and narrow with just I would be the most straight-laced kid in the fucking world. Instead, he gets arrested and charged with Jesus Christ, with shoplifting a $2.99 meatball sandwich from
useless.
A Tedeschi grocery store. The case was dismissed 2 months later upon payment of a $50 fine. But
he's on probation.
But why?
4-year probation, and he fucks up and they don't do anything about it.
Why? Nothing. Why would he do that in that situation? His parents will buy him all the meatballs he wants, I have a feeling.
Somehow he gets kegs of beer.
This kid could be swimming in meatballs.
And he can't get a meatball sandwich?
His life is nothing but Jeeps and meatballs. That's his whole life. Jeeps and meatballs and all that is fucking wonderful.
That white hat has so many meatball
So many meatball stains and the blood of young women and everything else on it. This fucking asshole.
A piece of shit. I hate him so much already.
Jeep
Just from
and
the
meatballs.
What a gifted life.
Jeep, meatballs, and forcible sex, I believe, is the title of this this episode, by the way. I don't see how it wouldn't be. Jeeps, meatballs, and forcible sex.
Christ.
It's going to be.
Yeah.
So March 1994, like we said, he gets the probation after all of that. $625 fine also. They wrap up some other shit on here. Like I said, that this is the assault on the police officer. They wrap all that up. He has 18 months probation on that, $625 fine.
Done deal.
Yeah,
out of prison.
So now he's raped a girl and threatened both assaulted a police officer and his brother and threatened a police officer's family.
And the family.
Never has gone to jail for this. He's fine, which is mind-bogglingly insane. That's mind-boggling,
and
man.
it's not just the white privilege, because
it's rich
you or
privilege.
That's what it is.
It's rich privilege.
It's the
this
upper
is money.
crust. It is absolutely a green privilege.
This is going This is going to court with an attorney that you paid for.
Gross.
Yeah, this is going to court with an attorney that has been paying attention to your file and knows what's going on.
Right.
And
this is the epitome of affluency. That's what it is.
It absolutely is.
Gross.
He's a fucking douche. And
that affluent fucking Texas that rolled his truck and killed somebody.
That asshole
has nothing on this guy.
No, this guy, at least he didn't, when he set out, he wasn't like, I'm going to roll my truck and kill a motherfucker.
This
guy was like,
raped a girl on purpose.
I'm going to carry her. Right. It wasn't like they were making, it wasn't like Animal House, which still, this is wrong, don't fucking do this, but it wasn't like Animal House where they were fucking making out and then halfway through it she fell asleep right when she was taking his pants off. She fell asleep. Even he didn't do it. He was like, no, I can't. But like, it wasn't even like that. This was, I'm going to carry her around.
Over
this
my
is
shoulder.
Fucking nuts. Like, that is both of those things are equally bad, but this is like, character-wise, this says a lot less about his character, or a lot more, however you want to look at it.
Way worse.
So 95-96, he's playing for the Johnstown Chiefs. He played in 58 games, did well at 37 goals, 31 assists, 300 penalty minutes in 58 games. That's a lot. He's playing there.
300?
300 penalty minutes.
6 minutes a game.
While he's playing there, you know what he does? No. This fucking idiot? He goes to another party. He goes to a party. Guess where he was? At home. He went home. He's like, I'm going to go out to a party because that always works out. When I'm home, I go out to parties and nothing bad happens. That's how my life works. Everything's fine. I never end up in jail or arrested or in court or with a terrible reputation.
Or the worst charge.
Yeah.
I mean, arguably the worst charge.
Well, yeah, that doesn't get much, especially the way that
raping a minor.
Forcible sex on a child is like, that sounds...
That's the worst.
Awful.
There's
that
nothing
sounds
worse.
First-degree murder sounds fine compared to that. First-degree murder, at least it's an adult, you go, well, we don't know what happened between those two.
Tell me the story.
We never, I don't know what happened to him.
There's no story that makes forcible sex on a child.
There's never an excuse. No. That's what they always say in like the Homicide, David Simon book. He always says the police there, the homicide investigators, when they're interrogating someone, what they want to do is give them an out. Yeah. You want to give them a window. Yeah. They like to say it's like you put a window up in the top corner of the room. It's hard to get to, but you can get to that window. You can crawl out. There's an escape for you. And what they do is if you killed somebody, they try to say he came at you, didn't he?
Right.
I get it, man.
There's that window.
Even if you beat your child to death, they know how to play that. They're like, look, man, I hit my kid. Yeah. I get it. I mean,
spanked a kid before.
Kids fuck up and you get, I've gotten angry. I totally understand it and it happens. You didn't mean to do it. You're a good dad. You love your kid, right? Like, yeah, I know. I didn't mean to do. That's what they do. But there's an out for that. They always say there's no out.
Zero.
For a pedophile.
None.
That in the homicide book, there's a case going the whole time of a guy who killed an 11-year-old girl after having sexual whatever with her and left her in an alley. And the whole time they're killing themselves trying to fucking find this guy, because this is like one case where they're not just like, if they find a drug dealer on the street, I mean, they look and try to solve it, but they're not like, we need to avenge his death. They're actually like, this fucking little girl, this is bullshit. We need to fucking find this guy. And even like they said, the drug dealers on the corner were like talking to them and giving them tips if they could and be like, hey, catch that motherfucker. I hope you string him up.
Here's $5. You're fine.
Yeah, hey, what you need? Blue tops, 2 for $5. So he's got this whole thing. It's the same type of thing, but they say the one suspect, there's not an out, and they could never get the guy to crack, and the case is still unsolved. They could never get still unsolved 30 years later.
Wow.
They could never get the guy to crack because there's no out to give him. You can't. There's no way. They'll even try to say, well, yeah, she liked you, didn't she? She was coming on to you and stuff like that. But that's not even enough.
It's so hard to do.
To say, yeah, I raped her and killed her. Like that's.
How do you relate to that guy?
Yeah.
Listen, I've seen a 5-year-old before. Sometimes,
it's fucking
their
nuts.
ass is all bulbous and shit.
Yeah, exactly. There's no
gross.
It's not good at all. It's fucking disgusting.
So hard to say out loud.
Isn't it terrible? Oh. Yeah, that's why people don't generally. Right?
That's why there's no out.
So there's no out. So this is a different case. Yeah. This one, he shoots an alleged drug dealer with a BB gun in the back, a pellet gun. Shoots him in the back with a pellet gun, wounding him. And then when the guy went to call the police, that's when Billy said, I'll fucking kill you if you call the police. Oh, so another thing you can't do there. Police arrive. They arrest Billy. He's put on trial after that. He faces a bunch of charges. This is... There's different stories here. They say this is just some argument he got into. Went to a party, got in an argument with someone, shot him with a BB gun in the back. Okay. First of all, in the back. That's a big deal.
In the back at all.
No, not at all. You shouldn't really. But he says...
I mean, even when you're getting robbed, if you pull a gun and they run, you can't shoot them in the back.
That's it. You've lost your time.
It's over.
Unless they're
actively trying to
coming
hurt
to you.
Right.
Yeah, you can't shoot people in the back.
Like that. Yeah, that's just the way it goes. Well,
that's once in a while, they even get cops for that if they shoot him in the back. That's
from time to time.
That's the one where everyone's like, okay, well, he did shoot him in the back. I don't care what he was. He did shoot him in the back. Like, I don't know how he would have been threatened. That's even where everyone draws the line on that. But this is a different story. This is like, he says that everyone at the party says just a fight that happened. Billy says that this guy was stalking his girlfriend and he was just he was a drug dealer who was stalking his girlfriend. Very dangerous individual. And Billy had to step in and tell this guy that you don't stalk my girlfriend.
It's a tough thing to prove.
I'll shoot you in the back, especially when no one else backed that case story up except for him. So he's put on trial. He is charged. He's charged with a lot of things, including assault and battery with a dangerous weapon. Bunch of shit like that. Now he's on probation for child rape at this point, which is not great. Not great at all, I would say.
Understatement of this episode.
This is a parole violation from that. The court said he met the girl. He also had met the girl that he raped at parties subsequently and refused to leave the party because she was there, even though he's not supposed to go fucking near her. And obviously, I feel like if you're convicted of rape and you go somewhere and she's there, you should probably leave.
For sure.
I think that's on you to leave.
But if you got away with it, you probably are entitled.
That's how entitled this motherfucker is. He's like, fuck her. I don't need to leave. I don't need to leave. Fuck her. Like that.
I raped her and I'm not in jail.
No empathy whatsoever for that's the thing you're going to get with him a lot is no empathy. It's a me. I got fucked over.
What an asshole.
Where do you hear how he describes it later? He describes this as just like, man, what an inconvenience I went through. it was tough on me. Like, that's all he ever says. Never says a word about, I feel bad for that girl that I raped that
I've
time.
never wanted to fight somebody 6'2" more in my life.
This guy, he's such a jerk, this fucking guy. He's just a jerk. That's the problem. Anyway, he faces the parole violation for not only that, but for the meeting the girl at parties and not going anywhere. He's found guilty and convicted of charges of assault and battery with a deadly weapon, disorderly conduct, and witness intimidation. This paired with the parole violation, they said that now you're going to end up going to prison here. You're going to go to jail. Also found guilty of violating the probation from a statutory rape, and like we said, failing to leave social gatherings where the victim was present. All of this. Now, this guy too. The BB that he just says, hey, fuck this guy, he was intimidating my girlfriend. This guy he goes to court. When he goes to court to testify, he had to have surgery to repair his shoulder, and the BB ended up in his intestine. Wow. And it's lodged in there.
High-powered fucking pellet gun.
It's lodged in there. He had intestinal surgery. He was in the hospital for 6 days, and they finally ended up arresting him after all of that.
Wow.
It's fucking nuts. And before this whole thing went to trial, he gets his probation transferred to Pennsylvania with permission to leave Massachusetts to play for that hockey team in Pennsylvania, the Johnstown Chiefs. So, I mean, they just keep giving him all these chances. He just keeps doing it. The guy testified against him at court, obviously, said that the BB still lodged in him, and the doctors decided against trying to remove it after having exploratory surgery. In court, the guy, his attorney, Tibbetts' attorney, called the shooting by his client, quote, a stupid act with no malice or thought. Well, you should have thought before you fire weapons at people here.
Be nice.
That's not bad here. So, this is amazing too. The paper labeled him a menace in the editorial section, which is fucking hilarious. They say, quote, he's a menace who got free passes from the criminal justice system.
The first people to get it right.
Yeah, they got it right here. He is now sentenced to 2.5 years in prison.
Oh, boy.
Here. So, that's you, sir.
Yeah.
Fuck off,
For
mister.
Sure. At 18, this is where he's at, 19.
Yeah, he's sentenced to 2.5 years in prison at age 20 at this point here. His probation was revoked on the rape case, like we said. Wow. So now he's in deep shit. Now he ends up, he's waiting to go to prison later on. He ends up going to prison in 96 because I think he has appeals of the sentence and all that type of shit too, because he's found there's a trial here. He doesn't plea.
Because God forbid we put somebody away and not have it completely right.
Yeah. Well, let's get it right. Yeah. But then let's put him away. That's the thing. Let's put this fucking asshole away here. Right. He has a coach here. Let's talk about this guy. Fotiu, I don't know, Fotiu. Fotiu is his name. He was a player, and he was a former left winger for the Hartford Whalers also. This guy took to Billy and liked Billy, and was in 95 in between sentencing and going to prison. He ends up finding him when he's playing for the Johnstown Chiefs there, and he thought he was just like him when he was a kid, a hard-headed kid and all that kind of thing. So this silver-haired middle-aged son of a bitch is going to take him on. This motherfucker's silver to the end.
Shit.
He says Sterling. He says, quote, he was high strung like a wild racehorse, which is fucking funny. I was really hard on him because I saw all the potential he had, but he had a lot of growing up to do and needed some discipline. I told him to play every shift like it was his last and to be a man off the ice. He said he once put a beer bottle in front of Billy and said, quote, do you want this or a hockey career? I told him, you're not going to get many more chances, so you better take advantage of this. He ends up, he played for Johnstown, that was the 300 penalty minutes, so that's apparently what he got. Now, Mathers, the judge who sentenced him to the suspended sentence on the rape case, they now talk to him. That was like one of his last decisions, and then he retired from the bench. So they're like, hey, how you doing? You're nice, bring out a nice little home.
I like that polo shirt.
Very nice. You're looking comfortable. You're sitting in your study. You got books on the shelf.
Right.
It's
a nice boat out there.
That's a nice one. You got some scotch in your hand at an evening drink here. Right. They said, what do you think of this guy?
Remember him?
This is awesome, though. He's actually honest about it, but it's just like, I don't know, whatever. He says, quote, I got some criticism for going easy on him because I thought he might have potential to be rehabilitated. I do remember hearing something about him going sour again. It sounds like I was wrong. I lost another one. Yeah.
Whoops-a-daisy.
Whoops. Sorry. Fucked up on that one.
His name was Tibbetts.
The fucking rich kid with
not Jackson or some shit like that.
The kid with the expensive lawyer, not the public defender. Remember that one?
Kid wasn't named Washington with a fucking public defender in a fucking tweed suit.
Nope. From fucking somewhere in Boston. No, he was from by the yacht club where his attorney had a membership undoubtedly and everything was fine. So July 12th, 1996, he starts serving his prison sentence. He serves 40 months in prison altogether, which is it's a good amount of time.
That's damn near 4 years.
Yeah, because they added on
That's
other
a
shit.
lot.
They revoked his probation from that. So it all gets clumped together here. Yeah. He's at the Massachusetts Correctional Institute in Norfolk. He doesn't get to play hockey. He gets a broomstick and a basketball and knocks that around. Yeah. Pretends that's hockey, which I don't think that keeps you sharp.
No. That's a bad slap shot.
I would say. The Nick Fotu, I got to figure out what to call him. Fotu. Nick Fotu. I know it's pronounced wrong. I get it. I'm sorry.
The guy's a big deal. We understand.
We get it.
Right.
He was the Kentucky Thoroughblades. I'm sorry. The Kentucky Thoroughblades. They did. They punned their name up. Boom, pun that name up. No, they're like, no one cares about hockey in fucking Kentucky. How do we get them to care? Make them think it's horses.
Right.
Fuck it. Put it in there.
Confuse the shit out of them.
Which should we pretend it is? College basketball or horses? Which one? They're like, we'll go with horses. We pretend it's something.
Big stupid hats to the game.
You fucking know it, man. You know it. Just
Thoroughblades.
Ridiculous dresses.
You.
So yeah, he's doing that now.
How insulting to the intelligence of the Kentucky people.
Let's put it this way. Well, I think they've been insulted plenty, but. Do you think that how many people are showing up at the Kentucky Thoroughblades games in fucking Kentucky? Hockey. What is there? 14 people there?
Right.
They sold tickets for money. I bet you could bring like a turnip if it was like a good one, and they just let you in. No, it was like you could bring in it was a barter system to get into these games. You could just bring in some oats,
could have
a handful of oats, and
I had a
something.
surplus of carrots.
Yeah, so I'm here, an extra bunch. You're like, this'll do, and they let you in. Okay. I don't get it, man. It's super weird. This coach said, quote, he played the game in his head, imagining he was on the ice. He also said that he's been like a second father to him. Yeah. This is too silver. His parents were silver 1 and silver 2. Yeah. This guy is silver-haired middle-aged white man. Fucking extraordinaire.
For sure.
Right here.
Played in his head. I did that when I was 8, too.
Yeah.
I was great at basketball in my head.
Oh, fuck. You could see yourself reverse dunking, right? He's like, I'm going to cross him over. I'm going to go around the big guy and then reverse dunk because he's going to be thinking I'm going the other way.
Wait till I duck this ball between my legs. Watch
and then
this.
It hits your foot and it's gone. And that was never mind.
I forgot I'm 4'2".
That was a mistake. Shit. Sorry. So he said that this kid never gave up and he never allowed his dream to die. He does not take no for an answer, Jimmy. He does not. No, he does say that he's frustrated, and he said that he would never allow his dream to die. And they keep saying how he just always perseveres and he keeps plugging through. And I can't help thinking,
like a rapist.
Like you can tell him no 100 times, and eventually he's going to do what he wants to anyway. He's going to follow his dreams.
What a piece of shit!
That's following your dreams might be the worst way to put rape into terms. So that's terrible. He apparently was following his dreams. So he said that Tibbetts says, Jesus Christ, let's do it in their own words. What the hell do you say here? Want to do it in their own words and find out what this asshole has to say about this whole thing? He says, in their own words, quote, when I was locked up, I'd dribble my hockey ball and I'd pretend I was Barry Peterson, Ken Linseman, Rick Middleton, or Ray Bork. It hurt watching guys I played against and with in summer leagues play for the Bruins. It hit me pretty hard that it could be me out there. I spent the first 16 or 17 years of my life thinking about playing for the Bruins. Poor guy. Yeah, poor bastard.
I feel so
bad. Don't you feel for him? I mean, I'm getting choked up. I'm going to have to stop, Jimmy. You're going to have to. Here's my notes. You got to take over because I've never felt for someone
so badly.
So bad.
His hopes and dreams, James.
Jimmy, he
He had to use a basketball, and he had to dribble his hockey ball.
He had to shoot the kid with a BB gun. He couldn't even just kill him and bury him. He didn't even have a real gun to shoot him with.
So depressing.
So depressing. He just felt so bad about himself. He just, oh God, the poor guy. Isn't it sad?
Dribbled my hockey ball. That's the most. That's the most.
Shut up.
Sad fucking statement.
Pathetic. Dribbled.
You can't dribble a hockey puck. You fuck.
I dribbled my hockey ball. Is what he said.
And
fucking
pretend
idiot.
I was guys I used to play against.
Pretend the guys who wouldn't give me the time of day because I raped a 15-year-old.
Right.
Jesus Christ.
Nobody feels sorry for you, sir.
He gets his GED in prison.
Really?
Congratulations, Billy. Good for you.
Your brother's a BU.
Ooh, no shit. His sister went to graduate from fucking Columbia, for Christ's sake, and then got on the ground floor of a giant corporation.
She's starting fucking, was it Amazon? It was Amazon.
She was in Amazon
starting
back
that
then.
right now.
Yeah, fucking moron. He goes off to jail. He said that He said that he first acted like he did, not always cooperative when he first got to jail. He said he wouldn't back off from a challenge. In jail, he had to show he was tough. Mm-hmm. He said, quote, there were some guys there who I just as soon have, put them in the corner and dumped the puck in on them. He just wants to go fight him in the corner. He said that he worked out and bulked up 40 pounds in prison. That's where he ended up getting to be 215 and getting to be a big, dangerous son of a bitch now. Now he's not only aggressive and everything else, now he's fucking dangerous.
Like a criminal.
Like a rapist. Right. That's scary to people. He became parole eligible September 18th, 1998. Yeah. Parole board, though, ruled that he was not repentant enough, which I love. Yeah. Fuck you. I'm sure he had his lawyer and everything else and didn't fucking help.
That's
I love
awesome.
it. They were like, nope, still an asshole. Go back. You need to marinate a little more. Right. This one's not quite, the flavor's not quite into the, we haven't broken down the fat yet. Sorry.
You don't smell like a law-abiding citizen yet, sir.
Nope, I don't think so. They said that, the board said that he, quote, accepted limited responsibility and blamed others for his actions.
I love that.
That's fucking perfect for this asshole. After that, Billy said he knew he had to change even more. Mm-hmm. Wasn't good enough. Is also during this prison that his parents said that prison's time, his parents said they sensed a change in him.
Really?
Everything's different now. They said he seemed more mature, more serious, and appeared to have a more purpose in his life, his mom said. I talked to Billy from jail and he's doing great. That's a bad sign. That's a bad sign.
The part of that sentence at the very beginning is the part where you go, maybe he's not doing so great. I talked to Billy from prison, Mom.
From jail for not even for one fuck up, for fucking up on top of his other 5 fuck ups that he got third chances for, which the act of doing that right away contradicts maturity.
It's over.
Fuck him. Yeah. His mom actually said, quote, I could see a change during that year in Johnstown. You could see he was growing up, but during those years in jail, he was maturing more. So that's great. His parents visited him in jail all the time. They talked about mainly hockey. They were skeptical that he could resume his hockey career because he hasn't been able to ice skate or play at all.
He's dribbling a hockey puck.
He's like, I got my hockey ball. It's fine. But they said they became believers. His mother said, quote, all he talked about was how much bigger he was getting and how he was working out. I really think hockey helped him get through it. So I'm surprised. As a mother, no, I don't think that. I think he's committed and that driven and that talented. He doesn't take no for an answer. The word driven just means I see him trying to rape somebody.
I want somebody to believe in me like she believes in him.
Oh my God, wouldn't that be amazing? Jesus Christ, maybe he'd be in prison.
Jesus.
She said, quote, I never knew as a parent about his self-esteem, whether he had good self-esteem or not. But now I believe that he does because he had to really believe in himself to make this happen. To make what happen? To make fucking jail happen? To make child rape and shooting an idiot with a BB gun happen?
He really had to believe himself to get his pants off of that 15-year-old too.
Everybody, crime and sports listeners, everybody. Believe in yourself, and you too can rape any 15-year-old out there. Just believe in yourself enough, and you can make it happen. Jesus Christ.
Shocking.
She then says, quote, we dealt for so long with lawyers and courts and cops. We were waiting for the other shoe to drop. So we're really just enjoying this. This is going to be fun for us.
She doesn't get to make any analogies with clothing.
He's talking about it's going to be great. He's going to come out and he's going to play hockey and he's mature and we just feel so much. But he's already fine in her mind. Just everything's great. He's done it all. He's reformed. Everything's good. Not, hey, live 20 years without being arrested again. Now try that one. October 29th, 1999, he's finally released from jail.
He gets out.
He calls Foe 2 right away. Yep. Calls silver-haired number 1 here. Yep. This guy tells him that he could come skate with the Thoroughblades when they visited New England. Okay. Come get on with the Thoroughblades. This guy says, quote, the only time you can help someone who's in jail is when they come out. Then you can help them more than ever.
No. You can call them in prison and tell them fucking repent, fix your ways, figure out how to be a good person.
Absolutely.
Figure out how to fucking not live what you are living.
This story, by the way, I have to say, is the oddest, had the oddest like media coverage of it, of the whole thing, because everybody's like, they don't know whether to when he starts playing hockey again, they don't know whether to cover this as like a story of triumph and like reform, or to cover it as a story of like, why are they letting this rapist play hockey, or like they're like caught in between of they're like, this person says that he shouldn't be able to play hockey, but these people say it's fine. Because like no one wants to have an opinion. They're just like, I don't know, this is weird. It's so weird.
99, it seems like so long ago in terms of cultural evolution.
It is.
It's not that fucking long ago.
No, but in terms of cultural evolution,
it has really changed. Like
Eminem
Eminem was calling people faggot and not blurring it,
and it was
not
fine.
bleeping it, and everybody was like, whatever, singing it in the mall.
Yeah, nobody cared. Yeah, kids were singing it in the mall. Like,
it was on
Eminem,
the radio in Macy's.
Yeah, it was fine. Nobody cared.
And now, like this would be front page. Can you believe that this rapist is fucking playing?
And the problem too is the hockey establishment. These guys are not exactly the most sensitive. Yeah. The hockey establishment, these are a bunch of, they're progressive. Right. It's a sport. It's a very insulated sport too, because it's not like, it doesn't have the visibility of the NFL. Right. If somebody fucking kneels down in the NFL, the president tweets about it, companies have big thing. It's a huge deal. Right. If somebody kneeled in hockey, no one would ever notice, because no one's there and nobody gives a shit. You know, and they'll be like, well, he got a goal in the third period, so he can kneel all he wants. They don't care.
Also, because Canada would see it and they'd be like, why are you kneeling for this anthem?
We don't understand it. So don't kneel for the Canadian anthem and you're fine. So, but I mean, this is so weird. They don't know how to fucking handle it. He's released from prison. He has to wear, according to his parole officer, a monitoring bracelet. Yeah. So now he's got to wear an anklet to be tracked here. He tells his parole officer that he planned to resume his hockey career, but the parole officer said he couldn't skate because the skates wouldn't fit over the bracelet. Yeah. He says his mother said, quote, I burst into tears. Jesus, I really thought they were going to take the most important thing away from him. Jesus Christ, I want to shake her.
Freedom away from him, Mom.
I want to shake her. He raped a girl too. Don't you think of that? Like, anyway.
He took her innocence. How about you try to give that back?
But he just put a wristband over the bracelet and slid the skates over the band is what he did. So it was uncomfortable, but he did it. The parole officer ended up saying fine, he could do that, and he ended up being on the ice playing. He and his parents bought hockey equipment on the way home from prison. Quote, the article says, quote, he and his parents bought hockey equipment on the way home from prison. In other words, quote, his parents bought him hockey equipment. Right. Come on, now that you're out of jail for a stupid assault, threatening a police officer, and raping a child, we need to buy you a bunch of shit. Let's stop off.
Let's stop by the Bauer store real quick.
Fuck me. Jesus goddamn Christ. She said, and then what does Terry say? Quote, he was just... God damn it, these quotes sound so bad now. He was just so determined nothing was going to stop him from playing. Why is that? Because he does not take no for an answer. Ever. He will not take no for an answer.
He will not be denied.
He will not be denied. Ever. Hey, everybody, just going to take a quick break from the show to tell you about one of our favorite sponsors, MedMen.
MedMen.com.
MedMen is the premier cannabis company in the U.S. with recreational and medical retail locations throughout Southern California. Mm-hmm. Their main goal is to mainstream the cannabis industry and to empower people to exercise their right to purchase cannabis however they want. And this is the best way to do it, to come into a MedMen establishment. It's a high-quality, high-end shopping experience. These people are knowledgeable. You're looking for an indica to go to bed. You're looking for a sativa for daytime stuff to run around your house cleaning. These guys got it covered. They know the difference between the live resin and the hash oil and the this and the that.
Beautiful flower.
They're going to tell you all about it. Today's cannabis consumers are everywhere and everyone. So it's time to drop the labels. At MedMen, you're an executive, a teacher, a parent. You're a customer. That's what you are here. You're a customer, and they treat you as such. It's really fantastic. I've been to these places. It's an amazing variety of everything from flour to lotions, vape pens, edibles, bath bombs, over 1,000 products in store. Yeah. It's really awesome. They have everything. It's an entirely new shopping experience. It has touch screens that allow you to view in-depth product information and red-shirted staff so you can see them. That's incredibly knowledgeable, like we said, and they're going to tell you everything you need to know, any questions you might have. It's the most quality marijuana you're going to find out there. Check out one of their 14 retail locations throughout Los Angeles, Orange County, and San Diego, or just go to medmen.com to find your nearest store. Plus, exclusively for our listeners, when you find that store, visit any MedMen and mention the Crime in Sports podcast at checkout for $10 off your order. Limit 1 per customer. Terms and conditions may apply. Check out MedMen today.
MedMen.com. Get the nearest one to you and go mention us and get $10 off your order. And now back to the show.
Hey, everybody, just going to take a quick break from the show to tell you a little more about DraftKings.
DraftKings.com.
It's week 2 of the football season. Week two, which means a second shot at victory. Yeah. Bragging rights and huge cash prizes are up for grabs all season long at DraftKings, the leader in one-week fantasy sports. Yeah. This weekend, DraftKings has over $2 million in total prizes, and you can play free with your first deposit to compete for your share. With 1 week fantasy at DraftKings, you choose when you play. Draft a new team every week with no season-long commitment. At DraftKings, you are the GM. Just choose your players, stay under the salary cap, and see how your team stacks up against the competition. No matter what your skill level is, there's a contest waiting for you at DraftKings. So if you've been thinking about trying 1 week fantasy football, we're telling you now is the time to do it. Get in there and play, because nothing makes Football Sunday more exciting than when you have a DraftKings lineup on the line. Download the app or go to DraftKings.com now. Use promo code CRIME to enter a contest for free this weekend with your first deposit and compete for your share of over $2 million in total prizes. That's code CRIME only at DraftKings, the game inside the game. Minimum $5 deposit required. Eligibility restrictions apply. See DraftKings.com for details.
DraftKings.com, promo code CRIME. Get in there. And now back to the show.
So Billy ends up skating with the Thoroughblades twice, and then he goes to NHL scouts to try to get a tryout. Okay. That's the way he's going about this thing. 4 teams contact him. Really? There are 4 NHL teams that are willing to take a chance on this guy, or at least take a look at him. Pittsburgh, the Penguins, are the first ones to contact him. Really? Which is amazing. And they actually said afterwards, when they actually get him, they're like, yeah, other teams are calling us saying, oh, you beat us to the punch. So like this, people wanted him for some odd reason. It's so weird.
You beat us to the rape.
Beat us to the rape.
You penetrated that really solid.
You did not take no for an answer. The scout, Neil Shea, remember him from before, who saw him when he was 9? Right. He now works for Pittsburgh. Really? And he endorses Billy Tibbetts, along with also as an assistant coach named Joe Mullen, who was Tibbetts' teammate in a league the previous summer, and also a 1980 U.S. Olympian and an NHL player named Dave Silk, who is a friend of the Tibbetts family. See, this shit doesn't happen if you're just some dude. No. And you don't hear about a lot of you don't hear this a lot in other sports, or really from people who aren't excessively wealthy.
Lots of rape co-signers here.
Lots of rape co-signers. Lots of silver-haired middle-aged rape enthusiasts, we'll say. So April 10th, 2000, Billy ends up, he's signed by Pittsburgh, Pittsburgh Penguins here. The general manager, Craig Patrick, signs him to a 1-year contract that pays him $60,000 in the minors or $400,000 in the in the NHL.
If he makes it.
And then if he goes up and down, it prorates to whatever the game rates are. He says, the general manager, quote, "I wrestled a lot in making the decision to sign Tibbetts. He messed up as a young man, and nobody condones what he did. It wasn't something any of us would be proud of by any stretch of the imagination. But we have a rehabilitation system in place, and he deserved a chance to live his dream. He served his time. Let's see if the system works. If the system doesn't work, he'll be back where he was, and we'll have a miserable life. But if it has worked, then good for him." So let's just give him a chance. We're going to hire a rapist and see if he's still rapey.
Right.
Maybe he's not rapey anymore.
And you don't get to use words like "I wrestled." Like, I really struggled.
I struggled with it. It was tough for me. That's what I'm saying.
I tried to fight it off.
I tried. It was weird. It was like I couldn't move because I was like, it was almost like I had drugs or alcohol in me, and I overtook my system, and I just felt
it was really hard to submit.
It was weird. It was like the whole thing just penetrated my psyche. You know what I mean? It just penetrated and got in there real deep.
What the fuck? Why would he say that?
He's an asshole, obviously. That's why he would say that. He's a silver-haired, middle-aged. Wait till you hear, there's worse.
Does he not realize what the accusations are?
He said he
not
did get
accusations, a conviction.
Oh, a conviction.
Right.
They got letters and emails also from fans protesting the signing, obviously. He says, general manager says, quote, "There's always going to be a concern, but we fully expect, based on the time we've been around him, that he's reformed, turned the corner in his life, and he's ready to join our society." He says, he says, of course, this is his whole thing, quote, "Losing my freedom was the worst part of prison."
Was it?
As opposed to the food, dipshit? What are you talking about? But if I didn't get locked up, this is Billy talking, obviously,
right.
But if I didn't get locked up, maybe I wouldn't have the work ethic and focus I have now. I learned about discipline and what's important to me, family, loyalty, to those who believed in me, so many things that even a movie or a book couldn't tell it all. I'm not proud of what I did. There hasn't been a day in the past 9 years when I haven't thought about it. I did my time. I'm not the only person in the world that's on parole. I'm just happen to be the only one in the NHL, which is a big deal. Yeah. There's not a lot of parolees in professional sports, right. As we cover often. Usually they have to wait till they're all done with that, and then they can get signed again.
He's out there skating with an ankle bracelet on.
Oh, he's fine. He's like, it's cool. Shit. Some editorials here are pretty good here. There's an editorial here where this guy's pissed, this one guy, and he says, he's talking about the girl. I wonder what this girl's doing with her life. Hopefully she's having a good time, as good as him. Right. He says, quote, "Whatever she's doing, I'm guessing it doesn't involve a contract that pays about $140,000 for a 29-game season. That's the deal Tibbetts has with the Penguins. Not bad for a guy on parole who has to register with police as a sex offender."
That might be the most lucrative parole contract ever.
That's not bad. Yeah. That's good work release there. Here's what team owner Mario Lemieux had to say. Now, Mario Lemieux, who's the star player Hall of Famer, ended up being so good and had so much Hodgkins that they gave him part of the team. That's what works. If you get enough Hodgkins, they give you part of the team you join. I don't know. It's weird. It's
so much Hodgkins.
It's a strange. It was in the hockey bylaws, and the team didn't know about it. His attorney said he has the requisite level of Hodgkins to own 10% of this team, and they were like, "Fuck, sign it over. We have to." So
it might be the same with CTE in the NFL.
I think it is. Yeah,
John Elway's got a shitload of the Broncos.
Oh yeah, he's got a bunch of the Broncos, definitely. And judging by the way he picks and fucking shuffles in and out quarterbacks, right. He has a lot of brain damage.
He's gambling real heavy on people named Trevor. When was the last time a fucking quarterback named Trevor was successful?
I have no faith in a man named Trevor, a quarterback. You have to be. You need you need to be Joe Montana if you're going to be a quarterback. Yeah. I'm sorry.
He is
just the way it works.
Single syllable first name.
Yeah.
It's very rare that multiple.
Cool shit.
Right.
Maybe Cam Newton. Right. That's a cool fucking name. You know what I mean?
That guy's gonna win.
Yeah, I get Eli Manning's not a good name, and neither is Peyton Manning.
No.
But you know what? If your dad's an NFL quarterback, none of that shit matters. Right. Plus, they're hillbillies. So what do you want? Anyway,
you can tell by their foreheads.
Oh, you can see it in their eyes too. Mario Lemieux, who is a legend and now an owner of the Penguins, and a decent one too. He doesn't have like 2%. He's like the face of the organization. Yeah. He said, quote,
handsome fucking face too.
Is.
Not a bad looking dude.
He said, quote, "I think it's a great story. That kid faced so much adversity, did his time, came back after 3.5 years to find himself in the NHL is a great accomplishment." Okay, unpack. Hold on. Back up. That kid faced so much adversity.
15 14-year-old. She struggled.
He faced no adversity.
No.
That's what I was going to say. Growing up, he didn't have to struggle at all. His parents are rich kids. They did everything for him. They put him in private schools.
Even his rape was the least adversity ever.
When he failed out of private schools, he raped a girl, which, like I said, of his whole life, that might have been the hardest thing he had to do if she fought him back.
And she was drunk. She couldn't fight
poor
back.
Girl. Yeah, he rapes a girl, then does a bunch of other stupid shit that was not instigated or anything else by any. That was all decisions. No one forced you to fucking steal a meatball sandwich. It wasn't like he didn't eat for 3 days because his fucking mother's a crackhead and his dad ran away when they were 2 and they have no money. He's a rich kid. Fuck this guy. Adversity.
None.
The word adversity should never be mentioned in the same sentence with Billy Tibbetts. The least of. Oh my God, Jesus
The only
Christ.
person giving Billy Tibbetts adversity is Billy Tibbetts.
He's the only one.
He's the one bringing it upon himself.
Fuck. And even that, it's more about other people. Right. He raped someone. He shot someone. Right. He didn't do anything to himself.
Threatened a cop.
Yeah, he didn't get busted because he was doing a bunch of crack and fucking his body up, shooting up heroin somewhere.
He just brought legal charges against himself.
Yeah, he wasn't like Alonzo Spellman who had like a fucking mental problem and held up in his house, but he wasn't bothering anybody. They were just worried about him. Like, it wasn't anything like that. He's going out and fucking finding trouble.
Ridiculous.
So April 10th, 2000 is his official signing with Pittsburgh as a free agent.
Did somebody tell Mario Lemieux the wrong story?
I don't know I don't know how many times he's been hit in the head. Let's put it that way. I don't know how many times he's been hit in the head.
He doesn't know what happened.
No, I don't think he does. He scores a lot in their minor league system. 38 goals and 14 goals, 24 assists in his 2000-2001, playing for the Wilkes-Barre Scranton Penguins or Pens, and then the Pens where he should be. And then he had 13 goals, 17 assists the next year.
That is pretty awesome.
That's good stuff.
A criminal playing for the Pens?
From the Pens to the Pens.
That's awesome.
He's 185 penalty minutes in 38 games in the first season and 193 penalty minutes in 24 games in the second season, which is pretty fucking impressive. That's a lot of fucking penalty minutes here. Called up to Pittsburgh briefly also. Plays in 29 games, like we said, makes $140,000 there. Now, February of 2001, he has to go to court in Massachusetts and see the parole board because they are concerned because he attacked Atlanta Thrashers forward Darcy Hordichuk during a January 27th game.
During the game.
He physically attacked him, but they were trying to figure out if that violates his parole because it's assault because he's on parole for multiple assaults with weapons and sex and his dick and everything else he can get his hands on. But they rule that that this isn't a violation of his parole, but they do say that future aggressive behavior could send him back to jail. But he never stops. He's suspended for like kneeing people and cheap shots and cross-checking a guy in the minors. He's a fucking animal and he can't stop being an animal.
This is a fascinating thought, though. At what point does a parolee, like in football, let's say a safety is a parolee and he's tackling people.
Well, you could tackle, I guess, because that's legal in the rules of the game, but fighting wouldn't be. If they got into a scrap after the whistle, that could be construed as aggressive behavior, but it's on the field. That could be considered also gamesmanship and part of the game, which fighting is.
Yourself.
And in hockey, it can very easily be said that that's fighting is part of the game, and that's what the team needs him to do, and all that. But then they can say, well, you should get a guy who's not a rapist who's on parole. That would probably be my suggestion. They're allowed to fight. He's not. He says about this, Jesus Christ. He says if he could turn back the clock, Billy does, he would rewind time. Not to not rape that girl because, she feels terrible about it. Quote, the night I got arrested when I was 17, I shouldn't have gone out that night.
What the hell?
Not I should have made better decisions. I should have respected another human being. I should whatever the fuck right thing to say is.
I would rewind to time right before I carried a girl behind a brick building.
I wouldn't have gone out that night, he said. I should have just stayed home and played all my video games and dicked with my Jeep. Wow. Put the new shocks on my Jeep that I got. My dad bought me.
New KC lights.
Jesus Christ. June 2001 is when he's called up to Pittsburgh, and they talk about him being, at this point, they talk about the fact that he is a convicted sex offender, and flyers are given out to his Pittsburgh neighbors.
Really?
With his face on it. Here's the new Penguin / neighborhood sex offender. Introducing. No press conference necessary because the Pittsburgh Police Department is going to introduce him to everyone in town. Don't even need a press conference here. They were only given to neighbors within a 200 250-foot radius of his home, but still, that's enough. It has his picture, his address, photo, full name, has all his shit on there. It just says on there that he's an out-of-state sex offender from Massachusetts. He says, quote, I guess I'll just do it the same way I have in other places. I'm just going to mind my own business and live my life the best I know how. And he's not going to be affected by any of this. Some of his neighbors are a little uncomfortable, though.
Sure.
They handed out flyers to about 25 homes, I guess it was. They also sent them to daycare centers, school districts, and the director of children and youth services in the area.
They should.
In case you see him creeping around a park somewhere. They said they had about 150 out-of-state registered sex offenders in Pennsylvania at the moment. The Penguin spokesperson here, Keith Wenner, none of these people are women, you notice, that speak out for him. Right. They said that these actions will have no effect with his role on the team. They said, quote, this is the third time he's moved and it's happened everywhere he goes. It wasn't a surprise. We knew it was coming and it doesn't change his role as a player on the Pittsburgh Penguins. He's good now.
Yeah.
He's good now. Sex offender flyers, no problem. That's not embarrassing for them.
I can't imagine this.
As a team, that's who you're sending out there. Right. His neighbors were reluctant to talk about the case, saying they wanted to, quote, respect his privacy because it's a rich neighborhood and they don't talk about their neighbors there. Except for one neighbor, Ann McGuinn. She said the process is unfair because residents do not have a clear idea of what crime Tibbetts committed. She said, quote, I was surprised to get a notice on my front door. It looks more like a wanted poster than a concerned circular. We looked at it, thought a little about it, and then my teenage son says, quote, that could have been a very consensual act between minors. We don't know because the flyer doesn't give any of the facts. Well, I know, and he raped a girl behind a warehouse while she was passed out.
And it was no good.
And it was not okay.
And you need to guide your son to stop being so forgiving.
Yeah,
if they're giving you a notice that somebody's a criminal, definitely not very consensual.
That's true. No, that might have been consensual. Because he pled guilty to statutory rape.
But I'm never assuming shit.
No, I'm not going to assume it's the good one.
No.
I'm not going to assume that it was just two kids who were star-crossed lovers whose parents were mad because they didn't want them to go out, so they called the cops. And
I'm assuming there was a gun involved.
I'm assuming there was a gun and drugs and beatings, and I'm assuming the worst.
Yeah.
I am assuming the fucking worst.
And that guy can stay the fuck away from my daughter.
Yeah, Canada won't let him in at this point. When they go play like Montreal and shit, he's not allowed to go. Because Canada won't. They were trying to get him a temporary pass into Canada, and they were like, we're going to look into it for a while.
He fucks kids.
Relax. Yeah, I don't think kid fuckers are the first on the list. I know for a fact that Mel Hall wasn't allowed into Canada either, and he used to sneak in.
On the cover of Night.
They used to go. He would have to. The team would fly and do all that. He'd have to sneak in over the border.
Unbelievable.
To go fucking play the Expos because he was a piece of shit, as we've covered in an earlier episode. I think the episode title is "The Worst Man Alive."
It's possible he is.
It's possible. It might have been Eddie Johnson. Actually, I'm not sure. Yeah. They're both terrible people.
He's a pretty bad dude.
They're both awful people.
He's definitely one of the worst that we've covered.
Oh, he's a piece of shit grooming a teenage girl. Oh, my God. No, it's the worst. Tibbetts says, quote, it's not a situation where you go out campaigning and go around explaining your story. I'm going to let people get to know me. People will form their own conclusions. It's human nature. It's human nature because we're afraid of our kids. And when you have a statutory rape charge, we go, hey, that seems extreme.
Don't talk to her.
Now, there's some stories from this time we don't know if they're true, but they're kind of well-circulated, well-worn stories that other players have confirmed, but who the fuck knows? But let's say them anyway because... They're true enough. They've been said by more people than have disputed it. I haven't seen anybody say that's not true. So,
there's a lot of folklore about him.
He's got a lot of folklore and stories here. Okay. Apparently, there's a thing on the bus where he's one of the first players on the bus, and he does it on purpose because he wanted to get a seat that he wanted. Now, there's some discrepancy here, whether it's in the front or the back of the bus. Because some people are like, well, the veterans want to sit in the back of the bus, and some people say that the veterans want to sit in the front of the bus and whatever. So and in different sports, it's different. So I don't know how it is in hockey. But anyway, spots on the bus are a big deal. They are a big deal. My friend Rod Beck, told me about one time he was... couple times actually, but one time he was on a team and Dante Bichette was there. No, not Dante Bichette. Was it Dante? I think it was Dante Bichette was on the team, and he was there. And there was a rookie pitcher, Casey Fossum, I believe it was. It was a little shit that used to pitch for the Diamondbacks and Red Sox. This is when he played for the Red Sox. Rod, they get on the bus. And this guy was sitting there, and he had his big bag sitting there, and Dante Bichette said, "Hey man, you mind if I sit here? Because whatever the fuck, I don't want to sit back there, cram in. Would you mind if I move your bag?" And he said, "No, you can't move my bag." This kid was a rookie, and Dante Bichette was in the league for 10 years. Right. And they were like, "What are you talking about?" And I guess Dante Bichette was like, "All right, whatever." Like, he was just going to be cool about it. And some of the other players were like, No, fuck that, dude. And I guess Rod, most of all, walked up. He said, walked up, grabbed this motherfucker's bag, walked to the front door, threw it as far out of the bus as I could throw it. He said, "I heard plastic and shit breaking." Just crash, boom, boom.
That's where it goes.
It fucking did about 3 things, and he said, "Get the fuck out with your bag, asshole." And he made him ride with the trainers and all that shit. He wasn't even allowed to ride on the bus. He had to walk out with his head held low.
And that's how it works.
That's how it works. That's how it is. Like, it's not, and there was no and Casey Fossum wasn't going to question Rod's judgment at that point, because Rod was kind of a scary guy. Yeah, and would have torn his little head off. So anyway, that's a good Rod story. People always ask for him, and that one fits. The bus is a big deal. Yeah. So he apparently gets on a bus, and one of the veterans gets on. It's rumored to be a guy named Kevin Stevens, who's played forever, good player. He asked Tibbetts to move to the back or the front, depending on who you listen to, because he's a younger player and he's a nobody, basically. And he said, "Yeah, this is my fucking seat. Take a hike." And Billy said, "Fuck you," basically. He said, "I'm not doing it. I'm not giving up my seat." They went back and forth. Bad language, fuck you, kick your ass, all this shit. Who the fuck do you think you are, rookie? All this bullshit. At the end, a bunch of other teammates got in and they, calmed the situation down. And they ended up telling Billy he really needs to go back to the fucking back of the bus or whatever it was, because the veteran gets his seat. That's how it works. So he gets all sorts of pissed off, okay? And apparently he had a cheeseburger with him that he took from the back to eat. And from the back, being all pissed off, rumor has it that he threw the cheeseburger toward the front, toward Kevin Stevens, who he wanted to hit, but instead it went over Kevin Stevens' head and hit somebody else that was walking on the bus, who happened to be Mario Lemieux.
Kick his ass, Seabass.
So Mario Lemieux can just fire you and get you the fuck off the team.
Is that what happened?
Does. And March 17th, 2002, he is traded to Philly.
Wow.
So that's the rumor of why he got traded to Philly. Is
he drilled Lemieux with his double?
They gave him a fucking chance. He acts like a jerk off. The other teammates are like, he's an asshole, and then he hit the owner / player / highest level of what is it, like tier 7 of Scientology, whatever the Hodgkins level
he's
equal
clear.
To that is.
He's gone clear.
He's Hodgkins clear. That level, Mario Lemieux, and you're fucking gone.
Drilled him in the face with a double.
You can't
fuck out of here.
You can't hit the man who basically the king of Pittsburgh. Him and Terry Bradshaw could rape every girl in that town, and they would go, well, it's okay. I mean, he's got Hodgkins.
Mario Lemieux, if you don't know this, it's a rumor. He rapes penguins on the weekend, and it's legal in Pittsburgh.
It's legal for him to do it, nobody else, just him.
Penguin pussy is cold, is what I'm told.
That's what. Very, very cold. You can't take no for an answer. Is what it is. So that's why Tibbetts was on the team, and they said it's too much.
Okay.
So he's traded to Philly for Kent Manderville, which sounds like
a good one.
Actor from the 40s. Kent Manderville, and he comes out, hey, he's smoking, his hair all done.
Sly.
He only played for one more season after this. They just wanted to get rid of old Billy, and he trades him to Philly. And Philly's a rough and tumble kind of place, and they like a fucking rough and tumble guy.
Yeah.
They don't like rapists though.
No.
And the fans were super fucking pissed. Like
the Flyers were having it.
This is where they all love New Jack, the wrestler. Like Philly is where ECW was, and this guy's like, yeah, they cut that dude. He almost killed a kid in the ring with a fucking razor blade, and that's terrific and everything. But don't rape anybody. That's evil. We draw the line there. That's not cool.
You wear an opposing football team's jersey in our stadium, we'll rape you.
We'll rape you.
But
not
that's in the confines of our stadium, right? It's right.
We'll throw cheese fries at her, but we won't rape her. Now the coach Bill Barber said, quote, he's going to be a big part of our team, our chemistry. Yes, he plays with a bit of an edge, but you could see in his game what he could do for us. He was a big factor. We were very pleased, and we're looking forward to seeing more. That's after one game. He's sold. He's good now. Jesus Christ. Then a team official, a Flyers team official, tries to defend what he did back in the day. In the media, he says, quote, when I was 17, When I was 17, I took out a lot of 15-year-old girls. Did you rape them?
What did you do with those,
Did you have
sir?
forcible sex with them at all? Did that happen? Did you fucking make them pass out and drag them behind a warehouse?
Can you give us their numbers so we can call them?
Yeah, let's talk to them here.
There's a statute of limitations on this, pal.
Then he says, quote, our take on the whole situation was that he got somewhat of a bad deal and he didn't rape the girl even though it says it was rape. If he actually raped the girl, he would have been put in jail right there. When you, Jesus Christ.
Holy fuck.
What you have to do is go back and read the transcripts of the trial, which admittedly I have not done. That's what he just said. You motherfucking piece of shit, silver-haired asshole. Ed Snyder is this asshole's name, by the way. This stupid asshole.
In the NHL?
I sure as fuck hope that was the last day he had a fucking job in the NHL. This son of a bitch. Let's go back again. This is what I mean. These guys are so out of... even this is 2002, man. This isn't fucking 1962. This
Rape
is 2002.
Yeah.
He said if he had actually raped the girl, he would have been put in jail right there. What you have to do is go back and read the transcripts of the trial, which I haven't done.
I'm going to go take a shit. I'm going to sit down and read
But
those.
I am going to defend what he did and say that it's fine, even though I have not read anything about it.
With zero education on the subject.
He's a good hockey player, so I feel like it was consensual. That's what he basically said. But he's so good on the ice.
Wow.
What a fucking asshole.
No way they got this wrong.
This guy, write his name down right now, everybody. Ed Snyder will win silver-haired middle-aged asshole of the year because nobody else that I've seen has just been rape apologist.
Right out blanket.
I don't know.
Zero knowledge.
He got a bad rap. That fucking girl he basically was like, that fucking girl was full of shit. I raped girls too. We all put it in a little Forcible when we were 17, didn't we? Come on, guys.
I was 17. I took out so many. Really?
And I used to liquor them up and give them the fucking business too in the back seat. It's fine. Nobody mind.
Dumb shit.
You fucking asshole. Jesus fucking Christ.
I hope that he fucking had some wherewithal after he said that to be like, that wasn't on the record, right?
That was just between guys, right? That was just a guy
locker
thing.
Locker room talk, right?
Yeah, we'll say it's that. That was recorded? Fuck.
Unbelievable.
That's not going to be in the... Oh, my God, it is?
Was Billy Bush the reporter?
Then it gets worse. Then he says... the GM says, quote, that Tibbetts was, quote, a good kid who's trying to do what's right now. He made some mistakes, but he's trying to live his life properly. So it's fine. Don't worry about it. He plays a little bit for Philly, but I mean, it's nothing of any consequence. I think he plays 9 games for Philly. That's all. He played 9 games. He averaged less than 6 minutes a game. He was suspended for 2 games during his short tenure for instigating a fight, which was his third penalty of the night. At one point, he cost the Flyers a game when he grabbed a Carolina player, Craig Adams, and threw him down on top of the Flyers goalie, Neil Little, and a goal was scored as the goalie was trying to get out from under the pile. He grabbed it, threw him at his own goalie, and then they just went, open net, and they fucking shot a goal in. Thanks, dummy, and they skated away.
Wow.
Thanks, rapey. Have a good one. Fuck, man, what an idiot. He was on the team 23 days. He played 9 games, 2 suspensions. He played 60 total minutes and was in the penalty box 69 total minutes.
He was suspended twice in 23 days.
Twice in 23 games, and he was, like I said, he was in the box more than the minutes played. He had more penalty minutes than minutes on the ice. He had 1 assist and no goals.
Hard to score a goal when you're in the fucking penalty box.
How do you fucking score a goal? 23 days after, that's 23 days later, like we said, he's placed on waivers. The Flyers GM Bobby Clark said, quote, he did everything he was supposed to do, which included going to anger management classes. He said they released him because it's just a numbers game, and they had 5 centers at that point, and somebody was ready to come off the IR. It's just a roster move. That's all.
Else.
It has nothing to do with he's a complete asshole. And a rapist.
And he helps us 0.
It's easier to defend a guy if he's crazy on the ice. If you're like the guy lives his life normally, like, hey man, on the ice we need him to be on the edge, and that's what we want. Sometimes he goes a little far, but I mean we're telling him to go right to the edge. So if he goes over, we can't blame the guy once in a while. This is on top of that. By the way, and he rapes people. So it's not, or he raped a person. That's not great.
I mean, Ben Roethlisberger's pretty good.
Yeah, I would say not bad at all. That's what happens. So was fucking Jake Plummer.
Yeah.
So
and Teddy Bruschi.
It happens a lot.
Accusations.
So many times. Jameis Winston's running around. So bunch of the members of the Penguins organization talked about how Tibbetts, when he was on, this is fucking crazy, when he went to Philly, he started making threatening phone calls to a right-winger, he's not like a member of some sort of neo-Nazi party. Right. He plays right-wing. Okay. Eric Maloche, who was a prospect who was demoted to to Wilkes-Barre around that time. The messages were left on his cell phone, which voicemails and text messages, which were Jesus Christ. He didn't know Maloche got sent down. He thought he was going to be playing, and he was basically threatening him and threatening his family and threatening to take it out on him on the ice and all sorts of shit like that.
Who does he think he is? Fucking Richie Incognito?
That's what I mean. This is fucking nuts, man. It's
what the I don't understand how people get away with stuff like this. Just the constant assaults and threats of assaults. How do you keep, like, if you did that at any other job,
that's what I mean.
Fucking gone.
Out quick with the fucking quickness. Here, no, it's all right.
We'll give him another chance.
We'll give him another chance. Well, he's a good kid. He's worked hard. He's faced a lot of adversity, Jimmy. Right. That's the problem. I mean, when a kid's faced adversity like that, you don't want to cut his dream short. You just buy him hockey equipment and you send him out there. So, so he had done that, apparently, allegedly, but then he gets in a fight with a Penguins player that this guy apparently beats the shit out of him pretty good, beats the Tibbetts up pretty good, and they asked, the reporters asked both of them about it. Was it because of the phone calls? Were you extra pissed at him? Blah, blah, blah. Apparently, Tibbetts goes after this reporter and in the locker room for asking any kind of questions. And this is a guy who's got to act like he's straight and narrow, even if he's not straight and narrow. And instead, he starts yelling at a local reporter when he's new to the team, and all the other teammates are like, "What's going on?" It's like the Ryan Leaf situation when he freaked out. And Junior Seau came over and grabbed him. Everyone else was just like, "Is he out of his fucking mind?"
What is he doing?
Yeah, get the captain guy. You go. You're the highest paid guy here. Go get him. Like, we're not going to do this shit.
And also one of the biggest in this room. Go
and
stop
also,
him.
No one's going to fuck with Junior Seau, especially not Ryan Leaf.
No.
So anyway, he ends up yelling at this reporter. He says, quote, "Got any more stupid questions, Tim?" From across the room, he shouted at him while he was trying to interview somebody else. And this reporter said, quote, "It wasn't a stupid question, Billy," in a calm tone. "Just because you decided to give a bad answer doesn't make it a bad question," is what he said. So Tibbetts said, "What's the matter? Are you feeling a little uncomfortable, Tim?" Because people were looking at him, and I guess he was trying to intimidate him. And
I feel like you might rape me right now.
Yeah, he's like, "What the fuck?" And I guess the team kind of started talking to the reporter, and kind of someone started talking to him. Let's calm this fucking shit down. But these are all problems that you don't need with a guy who's not a super valuable member. Like, you put up with shit from Dennis Rodman because he averaged 19 rebounds a game back in the day. This guy's not doing that.
And he'll jump on Pop's lap to stop a ball.
He's
from
a fucking
being loose.
animal.
Right.
Yeah, he wants to play. He wants to play hard. I guess later on, Tibbetts, with the urging of the team, called this reporter to apologize, as he fucking should have, and not done that in the first place. December 16th, 2002, another NHL team signs him.
What?
Why do you sign him? Nothing but trouble. Rape. I don't know. Signed with the Rangers. New York Rangers sign him. Okay. Silver-haired, middle-aged white man to the rescue. That Foitu guy played for the Rangers and was a fan favorite there, and he persuaded their GM to give him a chance. So this guy just keeps talking people into it. This Foitu says, quote, or Fotu, fuck you. He says, quote, "I don't think they would have signed him if I wasn't here. Glenn told me, give him a chance, and he's done excellent for us. He'll be fine. I've seen a lot of people crazier than him that I've handled," is what the GM said. Tibbetts said he lived at this Fotu's home, or Foto's home, lived at his home in Hartford while this was going on. And he says about, Billy says, quote, "He stuck by me." Okay. He's the silverest son of a bitch in this entire story.
I want to go back to that coach and tell me more about somebody crazier than a child rapist?
Yeah, someone crazier than a rapist who can't get his head out of his ass.
Who else is that crazy? Tell us.
Jesus Christ, man. It's ridiculous. He played for the Hartford Wolfpack and was living with dude there. That was when he was in the minors. He says, quote, Tibbetts says, quote, "I didn't have teams banging down my door this summer. It was because of what happened 11 years ago, getting arrested. I think a lot of GMs were scared away. I think the ones that have stepped up and helped me with my career, Bobby Clark, Craig Patrick, and especially now Glenn Sather, who's given me another shot, I can't thank them enough." He just mentioned all the silver-haired, middle-aged white men in his life. He's like, this guy who defended me for no reason. This guy said, fucking, I didn't even rape that girl.
Right.
He didn't know anything, but he insisted I didn't do shit because I'm good at hockey. So,
There's no teams banging down my door. Like I did to that 15-year-old.
Like I was banging down. Yeah, exactly. Fucking unreal. Plays 11 games for the Rangers, 35 in the minors.
The amount of choice phrases being used by him or about him that are exactly
It's exactly
rape.
it.
What are they doing?
It's the old joke I had with Kobe Bryant after in 2000, whatever the fuck, when they were Lakers and Detroit in the finals.
Yeah.
And Ben Wallace played good defense that day. And Kobe Bryant, post-rape accusation, like fresh, hanging in the air, got up on a fucking stage in front of people and said... Ben Wallace and the Pistons really did a lot to stop my penetration today. You can't say that.
You don't get to say that word.
You don't get to say that.
That word gets deleted from everything you say forever.
You can't say you were trying to get penetration about anything ever again. I don't care what it is. I don't care if you're burrowing to the center of the earth. Penetration's not the word to use.
A receptionist in Denver spit out her coffee when he said that.
Yeah, he's like, what the fuck? So, October of 2003, he's signed as a free agent by the San Diego Gulls.
Yeah.
Top-notch team that is. That's a minor league team.
San Diego has ice.
They found some somewhere, a patch of it. Now, he plays in 2003, 2004. He plays for 4 different teams. He plays for the San Diego Gulls. He plays for the Springfield Falcons and the Houston Aeros. Let's talk about them in order here. With the Gulls, he plays 7 games, 56 penalty minutes in that game, in that time period. By the way, his hockey fights, when he was in the NHL, I found detailed hockey fights here. Nobody that I've really, a lot of these guys I don't know because I don't know hockey that much, but there are like fucking, like detailed, accounts of these fights. Yeah. Where, he seems to lose most of them is what it is. It seems like people, beat him up, a lot.
Not much of a fighter against men.
It seems like against men, and when he doesn't have a boner, he's not real. Maybe he needs to get a boner and he'll get a lot more aggressive out there possibly. But otherwise, he seems to lose every fight he's in, except for ones where he takes cheap shots, which happens too. There's one time where he tried to hit a guy who was on the bench as he skated by. Like,
what the fuck kind of fight is that?
Cheap shot at a guy while he's on the bench.
That's not cool.
And you pop, which also, too, what do you think the other guys would grab you and pull you onto the bench and beat the shit out of you at that point?
You'd expect it.
You would fucking hope so, anyway.
Everyone out there should listen to Small Town Murder. You really should, mainly because you never know who's next door. And that's the point of this show, really. You never know who is next door. You never know what's going to happen on Small Town Murder. That's what makes it so wonderful. The only thing you do know is that people are going to die, and we're probably going to make jokes about it. That's it. That's all we can promise you. We dig into these towns. We see what makes them tick, from local legends to scandals they may have had. And, of course, the biggest scandals of all, horrible murders that take place there. And we put our, what I feel is a completely appropriate comedic spin on the whole thing. And you know you need a laugh right now. So get in there, listen to Small Town Murder, follow Small Town Murder on the Wondery app or wherever you get your podcasts. You can listen to Small Town Murder early and ad-free right now on Wondery Plus.
He was hip-hop's biggest mogul, the man who redefined fame, fortune, and the music industry.
The first male rapper to be honored on the Hollywood Walk of Fame, Sean Diddy Combs.
Diddy built an empire and lived a life most people only dream about.
Everybody know ain't no party like a Diddy party, so.
Yeah, that's what's up.
But just as quickly as his empire rose, it came crashing down.
Today I'm announcing the unsealing of a 3-count indictment, charging Sean Combs with racketeering conspiracy, sex trafficking, interstate transportation for prostitution.
I was up. I hit rock bottom, but I make no excuses. I'm disgusted. I'm so sorry.
Until you're wearing an orange jumpsuit, it's not real. Now it's real.
From his meteoric rise to his shocking fall from grace, from law and crime, this is the rise and fall of Diddy. Listen to the rise and fall of Diddy exclusively with Wondery Plus.
So a lot of fights that he loses. Let's just say here. I have some people here also. Some what may have happened in San Diego. I found this fucking like hockey blog thing where people that knew him and played with him were telling stories about him, and it really devolved into the what a fucking asshole Billy Tibbetts is conversation. Here is one that from a guy. I'll just read it. Quote, biggest douche I've ever met, which says a lot. I think
San Diego.
In San Diego and playing hockey.
Yeah.
Wow. I ran into him in 2004. He was playing for San Diego Gulls in the ECHL on a, quote, zero tolerance restriction due to his history. In other words, he's not allowed to fuck up at all. He's got to fly straight like a gull.
Right.
So, preseason, the Gulls were in Long Beach for an exhibition game. I guess Tibbetts didn't make the trip here. He showed up at an afternoon pickup session that this guy was skating in. This guy was a 50-year-old guy. He says, quote, I was 50 years old, just had back surgery 2 weeks earlier. A kid tried to stop Tibbetts, and his stick rode up and nearly clipped his face. Tibbetts spent the next part of the skate chasing the poor kid around and slashing at him and hacking at him.
Wow.
I told him to get off the ice, and then he was then after me for the rest of the session. Then in the locker room, he tried taunting me, but he said, I am friends with the Gulls coach, so I simply took my cell phone and called him while this idiot was picking on me. The coach heard, and he was cut by the team and shipped out the next following week for violating his zero tolerance restriction.
Wow.
So that's one thing. Another post, this, I don't even know what to say about this post, but it's fucking fantastic. This guy's the star of the fucking show. This guy says, and I quote, son of a bitch, no punctuation.
Yeah.
Son of a bitch killed my dog, then threatened he would kill my father's firstborn son, which is me. This guy is a piece of shit and should be locked up for life. He's a rapist, thief, animal abuser, and the worst of all, I'm disgusted that we're from the same town. Fuck. God damn it.
That's a comment?
That's a
on
comment.
The internet.
That's a comment on the internet. Son of a bitch. Just right out of the gate. I used to know him. Son of a bitch killed my dog, then threatened he would kill my father's firstborn son, which is me. Wow.
What a sentence.
They're from the same town. He's disgusted by that, apparently. But I love that. Those are just two choice passages.
Yeah.
There's plenty on there I could have chose from. April 18th, 2004, Billy Tibbetts is released from the Arrows, Houston Arrows here, because he is arrested and charged with resisting arrest. So that's a problem, and they release him. He's off parole now, though, so that
it's
there's
all
no problem
over. He's
there.
a free man.
He's a free man. He's free and clear, but he's being arrested again now. So April 2004, the Arrows go, we've seen this fucking movie before. Take a hike. Jesus Christ.
This sequel's going to be no good.
No fucking good. Yeah, he was involved in an altercation after a traffic stop and was charged by Houston police with resisting arrest and resisting a search. This happens a lot with him. He does not like to be pulled over.
Yeah.
He'll pull over sometimes, but when he does, he doesn't want you to fucking go near him. Stay away from him. He posted bond and was released from jail, and then later on that day was released from his contract as well. Told to fuck off from the Arrows here. The Minnesota Wild are their parent club. They said that they took a chance and all that, and the coach said, quote, he came here knowing that if he got in any trouble on or off the ice, he'd be let go right away. There would be no talking, no change of plans.
Minnesota nice.
They fucking stuck to it. Take a hike here. They said that they had a meeting with him afterwards. They said there'd be no talking, and they actually had a meeting with him. The coach said, quote, we actually came to an agreement that he wasn't ready to play here right now. He knows that he has to get himself in the right emotional state to be a good citizen. I guess so. He did help us here in this time that he was here, but he was short with injuries. He worked hard for the team, but he did break the team rules.
Sure did.
So he's fucking gone. He signed by Las Vegas in 2004, November of 2004. Las Vegas of the ECHL, Las Vegas Wranglers. Yeehaw, baby. He ends up December of 2004, gets a 10-game suspension for a flagrant cross-check in his first game with the fucking team.
Very first one.
First team. He ends up having eight games he plays with them, has 0 goals, 2 assists, and 86 penalty minutes.
Jesus.
which is remarkable.
Yeah.
A remarkable
That's
amount
impressive.
of penalty minutes. Yeah, just to squeeze all those in there. January 28th, 2005, he's traded to Idaho of the ECHL by Las Vegas for cash. They were just like, just give us a couple of bucks. I don't know, $40.
Here's a 20.
We're going to Western Union you like $75 and you just fucking, not even like Venmo or PayPal or wiring, just Western Union it to
It'll
me.
cost us more money to send it than it is.
Absolutely. Send someone down to the Western Union to pick it up and then you can deposit.
On horseback.
On horseback. Just galloping over there. So he plays for the Idaho Steelheads. Plays 15 games, has 132 penalty minutes. 2005 and 6, he plays for the Chicago Wolves for a while of the AHL. 46 games there, 239 penalty minutes.
It's getting bad.
Yeah, he plays for the Rockford Ice Hogs of the UHL, which I don't even know what the fuck that is. This is also 2005 and 6.
Obviously United Hockey League, right?
Something, yeah, I think so. Or Universal or some horse shit. I don't even fucking know. Ukrainian at this point? I don't know who the hell knows. They're in Rockford, so probably not.
Uzbekistan?
Rockford, Ukraine. That's where he is. 13 games, 55 penalty minutes. Then 2006 and 7. Well, we'll talk about that in a second. Let's talk about 2005 when he's in Idaho. He ends up being released by them a day after he's suspended indefinitely by the league for attempting to attack a referee.
He doesn't get it.
No, he had tried to attack a referee. That's the one. Everyone on the ice. I get it. The referee's the one fucking person on skates you cannot attack.
He clearly saw Billy Madison.
Yeah, you can't attack the referee. This guy is Billy Madison plus rape.
Right.
Billy Madison would have
Minus
been
golf.
Imagine how less of a sympathetic character Billy Madison is, or not? Happy Gilmore. We're talking
that's
about.
what I meant. Yeah.
Imagine how much less sympathetic a character that is if he was a rapist, a convicted rapist,
child rapist.
Yeah, and he's like, I'm just trying to help my grandma, and it's like, well, maybe you shouldn't have raped people, and that must have hurt your grandma, you fucking asshole. Nobody'd be trying to help him. You'd be rooting for Shooter McGavin the entire fucking movie. Like I know he's kind of a dick, but he didn't rape anybody.
Maybe grandma shouldn't have put up her house for your legal fees.
Yeah, no shit.
To try to keep you out of prison.
Jesus Christ, man. You fucking asshole. So he physically attacks a referee and gets tossed, which, you can't do that, obviously.
That's how it goes usually.
You can't obviously do that.
I mean, what's that running back, the guy with the dreads, and he's fucking mentally unstable. He's got a lot of mental problems. I forget. God damn it, he played for the Raiders and the Seahawks.
Marshawn Lynch?
Yes,
Is he
Marshawn
unstable?
Lynch. No.
He seems cool.
He's super unstable.
Really? He seems the most stable.
Oh, boy. Boy, is he unstable.
He seems like he knows exactly who the fuck he is and doesn't care what you think of it.
That man's a lunatic.
Is he really?
Oh, God, yeah. He's got serious mental health
Okay,
problems.
I didn't know.
Okay, all right. I thought
really
you were
didn't
joking.
know. No, I really didn't know. I thought he was just like...
No, he's very open about it.
He just seems to be like a dude who's like, I don't want to fucking talk to you.
I think
and
he's got
that's
I don't know what it is. He's got some sort of mental instability.
Oh, shit.
But
Oh.
there was a fight in the huddle, and he went after a dude and didn't realize that it was the ref whose shirt he just grabbed.
You can't do
He's
that.
locked faces with this motherfucker and doesn't see black and white stripes.
Yeah, you can't do that.
No.
That's not good.
And he got tossed. That's just what happened.
You can't touch referees in any sport in any capacity, and especially if you're this asshole.
Right.
The coach of the Wranglers in Las Vegas said that he didn't condone Billy's past at all. He said, quote, "It's nothing we want to be associated with. It's a terrible past. At the same time, we didn't discriminate. His past isn't that of a role model for anybody, but it's there. He's free. He's done his time. We just judged him from what we had here." So they're just like, it's fine. He did say, quote, "Otherwise," this was when he was still on the team, "otherwise I'd get rid of him today if I didn't hope that he'd stay with the team for the rest of the year. The decision was a group decision from the owners to the coaching staff to the players." So they're all nice, but they're all like, look, I think he's a scumbag, but maybe he can help us out on the ice. That's all fuck it. It's
we're
fine.
all on the same team here.
Yeah. After that, he ends up he says that he turned his life around. Mm-hmm. He's joined Alcoholics Anonymous, and he has found God.
No.
Found God, baby. That's it. It's over. He has broken every fucking rule except naming his kid Junior. He's gone home. He's found God. Yeah. You name it. He's fucking broken it. No teenagers in his hit squad, but he did have underage people in his rape squad.
That's true.
So he had minors in his rape squad, which is worse, I think than your hit squad. He joins Alcoholics Anonymous, like he said, March 15th, 2005. He said, quote, "Basically, I've got to surrender my life to God's will. I only need to concern myself with God's love and acceptance." That's his new thing. He's free because of the Lord.
Yeah.
Jesus. And 6 days later, the Idaho Steelhead said, "You are free. We release you from your fucking contract after you tried to attack a referee." So 6 days later, after he's just gonna turn himself over and only consider God's love, he attacks a referee. So a lot of good that fucking did him there.
Maybe he was trying to bless the
That's possible.
He was trying to baptize him in the ice.
He was. He's like, get down.
Slamming him into it.
There's some shavings. I'm going to get you. So September 9th, 2006, there is a contest, promotion, whatever you want to call it, called Be a Bruin. Boston Bruin. Yeah. Be a Bruin. Okay. Promotion was the brainchild of an ex-defenseman named Brad Park, who then got the backing of a coach and the president of the team, Harry Sinden. The original plan was to target amateurs and beer league zealots who were harboring long simmering dreams of playing in the NHL.
Okay.
So they were going to do like a Invincible type thing there. Yeah. They were like, hey, that's a popular movie.
Right.
Yeah. And this
is 2006, right around the time.
Yeah. Billy at that time was playing for the Chicago Wolves, some minor league team, and his dad submitted an entry for him for this. Okay. Interesting. He is picked for this Be a Bruin thing.
They don't have Google?
They're unaware. Somehow they didn't realize that it was the same guy or whatever. It's him and a couple other guys. One guy who's like a college player and another guy who's like a minor league player. That's who they wanted. Yeah. And instead they get this asshole. They also made an 8-part reality series about it on the Nesson network there, Northeastern Sports Network.
God damn it. Fuck you, Survivor.
Yeah. What they didn't know, general manager didn't know that Tibbetts was a convicted rapist. He did not know he was a sex offender.
To do a background check.
They didn't do it. They just were like, oh, that kid that they submitted, he seems good. Look at that tape. He's good. Because he is fucking good, but he's a goddamn asshole. Tibbetts said, quote, "Well, they said it's a legit tryout. I'm taking them at their word. I'm just going to have fun, work hard, and keep a positive attitude. Everything else is out of my control. My main goal here is to make the Boston Bruins any way, shape, or form. I'll do whatever they ask me. Just head up, eyes down, mouth shut. That's it."
I'm not going to take no for an answer.
Not going to take no for an answer.
I'm going to rape them into letting me play.
I am going to. Now, if I'm going to make them submit eventually. They'll just put it that way. Eventually, it's whether it's willfully or not, I'm going to play for them. He then says, quote, "I know the media has made me out to be a monster." Really?
No.
Have we now?
No,
the media has made him out to be. You know what else made you out to be a monster? I don't know. Did the media, the court document that talks about how he raped a girl, was that put out by the media or the court? I think the court typed that one up. I don't think
records make you a monster.
Yeah, I don't think the New York Times made that up in a story or wrote that down. I think that was just copied down from what happened, from
it's a photocopy, sir.
Testimony from, raped girls and things like that. Wow. So yeah, media's made him out to be a monster, he says, and in a lot of ways, that's the public perception of me. There's nothing I can do about that. I'm just hoping that people can empathize rather than ostracize. He says, now here's the one.
Yeah.
This is, I don't even know what the fuck to say to this. We have to do it in their own words with this because it's the biggest asshole statement I think I've probably ever heard. Self-serving, completely manipulative, non-responsible asshole. In their own words, quote, "I've had to live every day with the knowledge that I was convicted of rape. I was kind of a wild kid. I've tried to mature as an adult since I was released from prison."
What about her?
He didn't say, "I've had to live with the knowledge every day that I hurt this person. Right. I've had to live with the knowledge every day that I did something terrible. I've had to live with the knowledge every day that I did an awful thing and I've tried to." He said that I was convicted of rape. I.
Conviction is
adversity.
Right.
Me. It's so much fucking adversity. I have to face the adversity because, it's me. Wow. It's about me. You piece of shit. The coach here, Coach Dave Lewis, said he's still going through the, quote, evaluation process with Tibbetts and two other contestants here, which are Dusty Demniak and Kevin Druce. They do all sorts of drills, and they're saying how Tibbetts is fucking schooling people. Yeah. Like they're doing drills with the guys on the team, on the Bruins, and he's doing better. He's doing well because he's a good player, and so they're very impressed with his playing. Yeah. They said about him after one day, quote, "He had a very good chance of scoring in the first shift. He seems to be effective." That's terrific. They said his skills are a little rusty, which they expected, but the problem is the rape, obviously. Right. So he says, though, he's a reformed man. He says he's in goes through alcohol and drug rehab. He's in AA meetings all the time. He says, quote, I've been my own worst enemy. I know that. My mouth, my ego, my actions.
My dick.
It took me a long time to surrender. Surrender to alcohol, to surrender to will and control. If you've got no higher power, man, then who do you answer to? You have to answer to somebody. I have a spiritual foundation now. I have some inner peace, and I want to play hockey. Where and to what extent remains to be seen.
You know who else surrendered to alcohol and somebody else's
Wow.
will?
Yeah, that's
what the fuck is he doing? Every time he opens his mouth, he fucking has a
worse thing to say.
Something that lines up with rape.
If you've got no higher power, then who do you answer to? The judge that sentences you to prison, motherfucker. That's who you answer to, you rapist asshole. He says they also talk about in the media that it feels like when they talk to the Bruins, it feels like the Bruins just like they brought him in by mistake, but this is a contest that they told everybody was legit, so they kind of have to let him do it, but they wish he would just kind of fucking go away. Right. They wish he would just kind of go, oop, twisted my knee, going home today. They'd be like, have a good one. Close the door behind him. Lock it up. Lock it up. No, don't let him back in. I don't care. Make sure, did he leave his phone or anything? If he did, just throw it outside.
We almost had a rapist on the team, you guys.
Throw it out the door.
No more of these contests. Whose fucking brainchild was this?
Throw it out the door like Casey Fossum's bag. Toss it. Fuck out of here. So they can cut him eventually when they do it, and the general manager just says he hasn't tried to mask his distaste for the situation. Mm-hmm. He does not like the whole Tibbetts thing. He also says that the fact that he's been suspended a ton of time in the minors for actual hockey misbehavior is also not a positive thing they're looking for. Oh, on top of that, guess what? Forcible 15-year-old girl sex. So there's also that. He said like high sticking and things like that. And he said, should somehow he go haywire in a practice game and wind up on the evening news in police shackles, we don't want that. Which makes fucking sense. And September 18th, 9 days later, they release him. Yeah. Have a good one, Billy. He then signs a tryout contract in the Finnish league with a team called HPK. And after only 4 games with HPK, he leaves the team without notice and signs another contract with a different team.
How do they keep giving him chances?
Well, in Finland, they don't give a fuck if you raped a girl. The Europe, Canada, anywhere, they're just like, you good at sports? Great. Come on in. We don't give a fuck. Who cares? You don't even speak English. You don't even speak this language. You're not going to rape anybody. It's fine.
He's going to be playing in Thailand soon.
Yeah, he really is. Well, he'd be perfect for that. Mm-hmm. There's plenty of rape to be had there, from what I understand. It's goddamn awful. So April 26, 2007, Billy, straight and narrow, obviously. I mean, at this point, the thing is he's answering to God now. Yeah. So once you're answering to God, as we've known from the past, once they find the Lord and they start answering to God, everything falls into place.
Power, James.
And it's fine. He's arrested April 26, 2007 for traffic violations after leading police on a, quote, brief chase.
Jesus.
Yes. This is in Scituate. He was speeding in his Jeep Cherokee, and then he hit a utility pole.
He got a car with the top now.
Yeah, he got it. Yeah, that's what I mean. He's like, yeah, I'm going to step it up. I'm a little older now. So he's a Jeep guy. He hit a utility pole at that point. The state trooper said that he was on Independence Avenue at about 2:15 a.m. When the police officer saw a gray Cherokee going 75 miles an hour in a 30-mile-an-hour zone, which is a little fast.
It's excessive.
The cop turned around and came and go after the guy, and then came upon it. The Jeep crashed into a utility pole. He's like, that's why the speed limit's 30, right. Dummy. You dumb fuck, because there's a fucking pole there.
Can't go around that corner that fast.
Yeah, and he pulls up, he sees that, he's like, oh no, and as he gets out of the car, just in time to see Tibbetts fucking dashing away from them. He fucking ran away. They finally end up catching him. They charge him with speeding, driving after his license is revoked, because that's why he's fucking running away, and driving to endanger and leaving the scene of an accident. So he is treated for minor injuries and arrested and then released. So problems driving, let's just say.
A few.
That was April of 2007. August 13th, 2007, his car is seen. It's a 2007 BMW X5. Where's he getting money?
That's a nice car.
Where's he? His parents are rich.
You
Never
betcha.
Mind. That's why it's probably his mom's car.
CEO of a fucking construction company.
Yeah. So he's driving a BMW X5, which is the big SUV that they have. It's pretty big on Route 3 southbound at about 12:30 a.m. when a state trooper named Mark Concanon in, was checking out traffic. He's fucking doing radar from the side of the road, and he sees him going at a high speed, like he said. He pulls out and turns his lights on and his sirens on to pull Tibbetts over for speeding, but instead Billy guns it and takes off.
Not his car.
Not my car. Fuck it. And starts speeding down Route 3. He takes an exit ramp onto Route 18 and continues driving. He drives through towns, through Weymouth and into Abington, and then made a sharp turn onto Route 58 South. And then he made another sharp right turn, and he lost control of the car and hit what? A utility pole again.
Hey, come out of nowhere.
2 fucking poles. They move them all the time, too. They're constantly moving them around.
They're very quick.
He'd think he would stop after hitting a pole. Nope, he keeps driving, keeps going with the car all fucked up, and then it dies after a minute because it's probably got vital fluids leaking from it.
Oil
or something.
Antifreeze, and it just overheats.
So you'd think he'd give up at this point. Right. Nope, he ran into the woods.
My Christ.
Ran into the woods where the police chased him into the woods and then lost him.
Wow.
They lose him in the fucking woods, but a police dog is brought in and everything, but the police receive a 911 call in Abington from a house that said somebody's hiding in their backyard. There's a stranger or whatever, an intruder, and they find Tibbetts hiding behind a house in the neighborhood, just cowering. He's like the guy on Cops who's hiding under the kiddie pool.
Right.
They kick it off, and he's like, "Oh shit, what was I was taking a nap? I don't know what y'all are doing." That's what he was doing. They arrest him. They turn him over to the state police, and he's arrested. Jesus Christ. So yeah, not great. High speed chase, and then crashing, running, hiding. Finally being pulled out from under a kiddie pool.
He is a menace,
presumably.
indeed.
He's a fucking menace. And now he's sitting in jail. He doesn't know what the fuck to do with himself. I mean, Christ almighty, of course they let him out because it's not that big of a deal. They let him out of goddamn jail. He doesn't know what the fuck to do.
Back at mom's house. And it's fucked up, too, because his parents are like, they're older now, so they go on like cruises and shit all over. He's just left at the house to do things. And they're like, look, we got a guy coming, a guy to repair something coming at 3:30. You better be here. Doorbell rings. Who is it? It's Paul Calhoun, shit pipe enthusiast. And he says... How is it you come to arrive here? I got to ask you that question, first of all. I got a lot of questions to ask you now. First of all, you know me. You don't know who I am. First of all, I can sympathize with your situation. You get a little flighty. You got to smack people around. I understand. My slogan, first of all, let me tell you, I smacked a couple people around. My whole slogan, the thing I pay my bills because I clean your shit pipes and smack your wife. Right. You understand that? I'll clean them, I'll smack. That's what I do. I'll clean up your shit, I'll kick a guy in the dick for the ladies, you know? You guys know what I do. So I understand a little bit of violence. You know, you want to smack somebody around. I understand. I get all excited when I clean that shit pipe out. When that last little poof and then it flows right through. Oh, baby, I feel it and I got to smack somebody. I got it. Whoever's close to me, I grab them, I smack them. I don't care if it's your grandmother. Flush. That's it, right there. Bang, in your face. You know what I mean? So I do that. But what I never did was I never fucking raped somebody. What the fuck is wrong with you? You can't be raping people. You can't do that. I'm sorry. I found out one time, I looked it up because I was wondering. I saw your name on my list. I was like, oh, I got him today, and I had to go knock on your door. And I said, what is that? Oh, that's illegal. Yeah, 15 years old, and it's you can't do either of those things. So I'll clean out your shit pipes, but I'm going to keep an eye on you, pal. You make one move, I'll give you a fucking smack. You want to come fight with me? I'll fight with you, buddy. Don't worry about it. I'm not a 15-year-old fucking girl. Have a good one. Poof. I'm a referee.
Poof. And in a cloud of shit and pipes and everything else, he's gone.
Toilet paper and tampons.
He's very confused, obviously, because he did not expect that at his parents' house at all. He called his mom, and his mom told him everything's going to be okay. And then she came home and stroked his hair and held him close to her bosom and said, it's going to be fine. We'll get through this. We'll find you another school. And he said, Mom, I'm 33 years old. And she said, oh, yeah, never mind.
You look thin.
Here, have some Teddy Grahams. It's fine, honey. So November 7th, 2007, he signs a contract in the Swiss National League, Swiss National League B. The B League, there's no marshmallows in the B League. No. You get the Swiss Miss with the marshmallows in the A League, but the B League, fuck you. It's just hot chocolate. You're out. Yeah. He signs with EHC Olten, whatever the fuck that is. Yeah. He plays 9 games there. It doesn't fucking matter. February 18th, 2009, signs a 3-game contract with the Huntsville Havoc of the SPHL, and then signs a contract for the remainder of the season. After that, he gets 15 points in 12 games, but then he gets suspended for 2 games for blindsiding a Columbus Cottonmouths. Is that the name of their fucking team?
Really?
That's a minor league team, the Columbus Cottonmouths.
Is it with a K?
No. This is
like
weird
the
as shit.
Cottonmouth Kings?
You smoke some weed and now you have Cottonmouth, and they named a team after that. That's so weird. Basically, this guy was not even looking, and Billy punched him in the side of the head when the guy was not engaged in a fight with him, so they suspended him, and the team was like, okay, let's
get rid of this
Let's get rid of this fucking guy.
He's a bit of trouble.
Yeah, he doesn't play much for there, and it really doesn't goddamn matter. He plays for the Birmingham Bulls back in the day, too, and all these fucking... I love how in his stats, there's a big did not play for fucking 4 seasons. It doesn't say did not play prison, is what it should say. Right there.
Unavailable.
Unavailable in the joint.
Right.
Unavailable. Fucking won't take no for an answer. Sorry. Late 2011, he's signed by the Cape Cod Bluefins.
How the fuck?
I don't know. I don't know why you keep taking him back.
How good is he?
He's okay. I mean, for these shit teams. But they said that they thought Billy's a good guy. Their general manager said that he's the general manager and head coach. He said that he welcomes the troubled guy, and he says it's fine. He says, quote, he's come in here and been a positive influence. We really needed leadership in the room. We talked, and eventually he decided to help us out, and he's been nothing short of unbelievable. He's not an angel. No. Neither am I or anyone else in the game of hockey.
Quit admitting that you rape.
Stop saying that. Stop equating, hey, I go out and carouse and have a few beers and maybe get in a fist fight once in a while, to raping teenagers. Stop doing it. Because they give it they do a boys will be boys blanket over it, and there is boys will be boys. Some people are like, that's bull. No, there is some boys will be boys. None of them involve rape. None of them involve forcible penetration. That's the only thing that's not boys will be fucking boys. Getting in a fight with another guy, being an idiot. That's just... People have a lot of fucking shit to blow off when they're 17. Rape is not one of them.
Testosterone overloads, and you're not used to it. And
sperm is one thing you can't blow off when you're a teenager. You're not allowed to.
I did
do that at home.
I did my best.
Do that by yourself at home. God damn it. But he says, quote, some teams are gunning for him, trying to get under his skin. Some officials carry the baggage as well as on ice. So they're trying to get, they're trying to piss him off so he gets tossed, basically. He plays there. He says that he's embraced this role to be on this team. He wants to be the leader. He's spiritual now. He can help the young people. He's a good guy.
Gross.
He says, quote, Billy says, quote, I'm trying to provide a blueprint for guys to work off of. The NHL is not a pipe dream for some of our kids. If you keep working hard, learning the game, and listening to me, you'll make it. I foresee them making the step soon. They could easily play of the ECHL right now. Wow.
Stop with the motivation.
Sounds like you're not a role model.
No.
Yeah. Everything he says, it sounds like I'm encouraging the guys to work our asses off, and you can rape anybody if you do it. You can get in there, boy. If they say no, if they fight you off, eventually, don't take no for an answer. So
submit them to your will.
Yeah, then the other thing he says, Jesus Christ, the main thing before I got here was that there was no systems, and I was able to institute them and to try to change the culture. I don't want him changing any cultures to his whim.
No.
Quote, it was very soft, undisciplined, and unstructured. No leadership. Now he's a leader? What are we fucking doing?
Holy hell.
This should be your example if you're the coach and he's on the team. Everyone don't be like him.
Yeah.
Please, that's your example.
Whatever he says, do the opposite.
Do the fucking opposite. Now, this comes up January 30th, 2012. I don't know if this is his brother, but it's been posted that this is his brother, and it's in the same town, and they have the same name, and it's fucking possible, okay? But we're not positive. It's a guy named Joseph Tibbetts. They call his brother Nicky, but they said they call him Nicky. That's not his name. So I don't know what the fuck's up here. So I don't know if this is his brother.
And his dad's name was Joe, so that makes sense.
That's what I mean. His dad's name was Joseph. This guy was 39 years old at the time, which fits the age differences. Anyway, he says that this guy, even if he's not, this story's fucking crazy. He was arraigned on 9 charges stemming from an alleged kidnapping and armed robbery involving a person he knew. He was arrested apparently 1 p.m. The victim was a 68-year-old man who drove to the police station parking lot and told this detective that he'd been robbed at knife point. So they follow. The guy leads them to this Joseph Tibbetts. This guy, by the way, who was robbed, was on oxygen and appeared to be shaken but not injured. They lead him to the parking lot of a Victoria's sub shop where the robbery occurred. 3 detectives watched a man matching the description walk away from the parking lot. They drew their guns and ordered him to stop. Other people arrived to assist. He was taken into custody. What ended up happening, apparently, this whole thing here, they drove, and the suspect here, the Tibbetts, said that I guess he picked up a work knife and began opening and closing the work knife when the 68-year-old man was around and said, quote, "I can kill you." Then he pointed the knife at the man and told him to keep driving, and then he removed all the cash from the guy's wallet.
That's a robbery.
So he just decided to rob him there. He's like, he just realized knives are stabby, like out of nowhere. Like he opened the knife and he went, "Hey, I could kill you. You know what? Keep driving. Give me your fucking money. I didn't realize I had something such a deal closer here.
Right
this is
now.
Pretty powerful. This is quite the trump card I have going on right now."
You're not a little girl.
Yeah, right. Jesus Christ. So then this guy said he convinced the suspect here to stop for food at the sub shop, and threatened this Tibbetts threatened to kill this man again. This time with a wrench.
Yeah.
He waved a wrench inside. Tibbetts took the keys and went inside, and but this guy, the victim, had a spare ignition key, so he took it and drove away. And then he's charged with kidnapping, armed robbery, assault with a dangerous weapon, and also with a wrench, knife and a wrench on a person over 60, larceny from someone over 65, intimidation of a witness, resisting arrest, and disorderly conduct.
They have that law up there.
There's
over
a lot
60.
of fucking, yeah.
Over 60, you go to jail longer.
That's crazy because, like, my dad's 60. He's pretty formidable.
Yeah.
Like, you wouldn't charge extra for fucking knocking him over. Yeah.
I don't know that I could knock him
over. He rides
over.
a fucking Harley and shit. Like, you're not knocking him over.
Man.
Yeah, we'll go with 70 now, I think. Times have changed.
We can up the
we'll
ante there.
Yeah. So,
I got a feeling your dad could knock me out if I
he probably could. He probably could. He wouldn't let you rob him. I'll tell you that right now.
No.
We just heard the hurricane's coming to South Carolina.
Yeah.
He lives a mile from shore. It's coming right in his path. The mandatory evacuation. He sends Sarah a picture of him and my stepmom fucking clinking beers together. We're not leaving anywhere.
We're
staying here
a little bit.
That's what they are. We're not going anywhere. I'm like, what is wrong with you fucking people?
A little bit of wind.
Yeah. You rob him, it shouldn't be extra. Is what
60 mile an hour
He's
wind.
formidable.
I get that on my Harley.
Yeah. No problem. I got this. May 20th, 2015. Billy Tibbetts, he's 40 years old at this point. He's arrested during a motor vehicle stop in Scituate again. Yeah. He's still there on Summer Street near Super Petroleum, the gas station, and charged with operating a motor vehicle without a license. You dumb motherfucker. Imagine his parents, how fucking embarrassed they are. I get that they've given him everything and they've caused this, but at some point, I know outwardly they're not going to say it. They're going to say, he's a good boy. He's a good boy. He's just a good boy. I get that they're going to do that, but inwardly, at night, in their room,
they have to talk.
No one's around. They have to go, Jesus Christ, I wish he would just fucking stop or move to Haiti or get the fuck out of here, because if he gets arrested one more time and my friends keep asking me about it, I'm going to lose my fucking mind.
And then Terry goes, "You're being too hard on the boy."
Yeah, you're being too hard. Let's buy him some more hockey equipment. I think he could use it. And a new Jeep.
Right.
He wrapped the last one on a fucking telephone pole.
You see what he did to my X5?
Jesus Christ. I mean, good God, all these fucking teams. I feel bad for all these people, Jimmy. I really do. But not nearly as bad as I feel for Billy Tibbetts, a program manager at Wabtec in the greater Denver area. It's a railroad manufacturer.
Poor fucking guy.
Billy Tibbetts, district sales manager at Brasler USA in the Washington, D.C. metro area. They sell medical devices. So upstanding guy who needs people to trust him.
Right.
And I'm not a rapist, I swear. Billy Tibbetts, an Australian boxer who fought 2 fights in 1925 and 1927 and lost both of them. And lost both fights.
Long before rape was popular with the Tibbetts.
And finally, Billy Tibbetts, a high school football player in the Northeast. You poor bastard. I won't say where he is. I just feel bad for this poor kid.
Don't rape children, Billy.
Don't rape anybody.
Stick with
I promise,
football,
Billy.
You fuck.
Jesus Christ. Yeah, please do that. Now, November of 2016... everything we've said about him has been negative this entire time because he's done nothing positive.
Nothing.
Everything he does that's, quote, positive is just for himself.
Yeah.
And he just says how much adversity he's overcome and how great he is to get there.
Marred with terrible shit.
Yeah. November of 2016, he does the first half decent thing that I've seen in his whole entire life. I'm sure he's done something nice, but nothing publicly. Right. Slapshot, the movie Slapshot. Well, the characters from Slapshot went to Rhode Island to play around in a game and help a family where someone has ALS in the family, and they had been writing to them, and they're big in the ALS scene. And the fundraiser is titled "Artie and the Hanson Brothers Battle ALS," and its goal is to raise funds for an Artie Saran and his family to defray the costs of medical treatment. They talk about what it is. Anyway, on this in this whole thing, you got the Hanson brothers and a few other people here. Who the hell are these people? You have Dave Capuano, who's a NHL player. I've heard of him. Bill Bennett, Howie Rosenblatt, and Billy Tibbetts are one of the people who will be playing in this charity game at the Boss Arena for a good fucking cause.
How's that feel?
Yeah, it's Jesus Christ.
Wouldn't you rather have the fucking ice bucket challenge?
Like, we'll take it. We don't need him, right? No one's going to take their money back if we kick him off the ice, the rapist. The Hanson brothers apparently have helped raise over $27 million over the past 25 years.
Wow.
Those guys did for ALS.
That's great.
So that's their cause. That is Billy Tibbetts. Can't get enough Billy Tibbetts.
I have had an ass full of
Well,
Billy
you know
Tibbetts.
what? Jimmy, you know what you should do?
Yeah.
Any of your kids interested in hockey?
Yeah.
Well, you know what you can do then? Maybe your daughter, I think, would really be interested in hockey. Well, you should sign her up at allpowerskating.com.
No.
Where Billy Tibbetts is teaching people how to play hockey.
Holy fuck.
It says in big letters, want to be a better hockey player? All-Star Power Skating by Billy Tibbetts focuses on the same principles and techniques that Billy believes in. These principles are concentrating on knee bend while skating, edge work, and upper body control. All ages and all levels are welcome to sign up. And then it says instructor Billy Tibbetts.
No.
Billy played at every level of the minors before making it to the NHL and playing with the Pittsburgh Penguins.
Eesh.
They don't say around rape charges in prison. They show his stats like from Wikipedia on there to show how many teams. There's 4 years of did not play and say, oh, by the way, he was in prison for rape those 4 years. Rates, it says, please call or email for rates and time. Location, all South Shore hockey rinks. That's that same fucking area, South Shore. And contact information, you can contact Billy, 781-733-7153, or email him at williamtibbetts74@gmail.com. Should I give that out? Is that wrong to give out? I don't know if I should give that out. Is that illegal to give out?
I don't. It's online.
It's on fucking line. If you want to play hockey, you can call him and play hockey. I'm not saying to do anything else.
Ask him how much booze it takes to knock out a 15-year-old.
Yeah, well, I bet he knows exactly how much. Also, if you're, for some reason, if you're for some reason a fan of his.
Oh, it's so reckless. It's like giving booze to a 15-year-old.
Oh, God. It's like...
That's so funny.
It's like carrying a passed out 15-year-old behind a warehouse. It's that kind of reckless. It's like running from the cops and smashing in a utility pole. It's like shooting a kid in the back with a BB gun kind of reckless, you know? It's like that kind of reckless, you know? It's like stealing a meatball sandwich from a grocery store reckless.
A $2.99
Fuck, man. Well, you can go.
What a fucking jerk.
If you want more, you can go to Game Worn Auctions, and they have all sorts of shit. They have a 2001 and 2002 Penguins Game Worn jersey, one of his Game Worn jerseys. Starting bid was $150, and it sold for $241.58.
It didn't go up much.
People upped the bid from minimum. It wasn't one guy going, I like the Penguins, fuck it, click. I don't remember that guy, but
somebody else was like, yeah, that's a decent price.
Yeah, that's what it is.
Under $300 for Game Worn shit.
There was just 4 rapists bidding on it. Like, he's my favorite NHL player. No one's better than him. No one's better than Billy Tibbetts at this and rape. He's great. So that's Billy Tibbetts, and that's a hockey episode. Notice we tried not to talk much about hockey because we don't know fucking shit about hockey, and we just mess things up, and it's stupid. And this guy had way more going on around him than the hockey. Who wants to talk about minor league hockey? He played like fucking 80 games in the NHL. So
but we do know that child rape is bad.
That is unequivocally and objectively bad. There's no question about it. That is Billy Tibbetts. If you liked that story, you should hate him. Yeah. But if you like that story, do us a favor and get on iTunes, Apple Podcasts, whatever the hell it is, and give us 5 damn stars. Yeah. Tell us you're following instructions, following directions. It doesn't really matter. If you want to be an even bigger superstar, you can do that. Like this list of superstar producers that we are going to talk about in a minute, our most favorite, wonderful, helpful, amazing people in the world. You can do that very easily by going to patreon.com/crimeinsports or going over to PayPal using our email address, which is crimeandsports@gmail.com. Or you can follow us on social media also. This is not for money, but just for regular. You can do that at Crime and Sports on Twitter and Facebook. Follow these. Instagram is at Small Town Murder. We put up Crime and Sports stuff too. You can do all of that and everything there at shutupandgivememurder.com, which you can find links to everything from there. Also links to these live shows for Small Town Murder. These are huge venues and we are frightened. So please buy,
so fun.
Please buy your tickets and we're going to put on a hell of a fucking show.
Yes.
I promise you that I can swear to God. We're going to kill it. I know that. We just need you guys to be there to take the beating.
Right.
So
put your asses in seats and hang with us.
That's right.
We'll meet every last fucking one of you.
We'll do it, man. Unless we literally have to go to the airport to make the next show, which might happen.
It's true.
We'll try our best. But never mind all that. Why don't you tell me something? Because I'm wondering. I just told you a story. Why don't you tell me the list of my favorite people in the goddamn world this week, Jimmy? Hit me with them.
Executive producers this week are Sarah Gilbo, who fucking...
Wow, thank you, Sarah.
Wow.
You came through.
You're a darling. Thank you
really appreciate
so much.
Thank you.
Carol Braun, who donated both ways.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you, Carol.
Lucas Rogers, Annette Wright, Crystal Gennaro.
Thank you, Crystal, too.
She's
terrific.
terrific.
She's
a traffic controller.
Yeah, thank you. Oh, that's amazing.
Yeah.
Thank you for not killing us all.
Rachel Fouch, Ryan Gafford, and Carly Harper. They are a couple.
Wow, cool.
Stephanie Ramos, December Theron. I think it's Theron. She donated both ways also.
Wow.
And, of course, Chrissy Ann Castaldi. Thank you guys so much for really coming through and helping us. We really appreciate you.
Yeah, you guys are our heart and soul, honestly. And so is everybody else coming up.
And
Thank
they are
you guys.
Sani. It's Sani Juntola.
I thought you were going to say Sandy Jew something, and I'm like, what are you talking about?
It's Sani, I believe. Kate Ives, who's around every week.
Yeah.
Rebecca Anders, Jessica Manor, Nicole Johnson, Nick Laycock, Paul Ruest. Again,
Paul, yeah.
That guy's
he's
fantastic.
Great.
He makes memes.
He's not making memes. He's donating money. He's the best.
Amazing.
Thank you.
Thank you. I hope your little boy's doing all right.
Yeah, absolutely. I meant to say that. Thank you. Yeah.
And then he's got his fucking mother-in-law going through some
Jesus
shit, too.
Christ, I know.
They had to bring her in the house. It's fucked up over at the Ruest house.
No
Shit's
shit,
going
man.
on.
Sorry. Good luck to you, brother.
He's a fucking man, though. Thank you, brother.
Thanks for hanging in there.
Brooks, Natalie Hodson, Michael Kennedy, who donated twice, I believe.
Oh, my God. Thank you.
Or it's another Mike Kennedy. I'm not sure.
Who knows? Thank you. Either way.
Nathaniel Schaefer, Justin Inwood, Shannon Russell, Schmidt, Nathan Nolte, who's an officer, I believe.
Is he?
I think so. I think so.
Well, thanks for listening, dude.
Yeah, he's a good dude. Thank you, Nathan. Charlotte Torque, Robin Buffkin, James Price, Stephanie Igoa.
Let's take another swipe at this bad boy.
Stephanie Igoa, I think. Nick Eddy, Diana Libman, Tyler Brown, Juan Yanez, Jesse Hartman, Nick Jungers, Amanda Alfara, William McGuffrin, yes. Reno in Texas. He came through this town and texted me that he was here, so I stopped say hello to him. He's terrific. Cool. Thanks for being here, Reno. Good to see you, buddy. Timothy. Shit, sorry, Tim. Timothy Hunt, CIS Hit Squad. I'm not sure what that is. It's a bunch of different people together.
Hopefully they're not minors.
No, they're.
So we know you can't have them in your hit squad.
I think they know better.
Yeah.
Ashley Vio, she's fucking fantastic. And then Mike Kennedy, again, I think it's the same Mike. Heather Norton, and she also sent us a gift. I got to open that.
That's so cool.
Thank you, Heather. Juan Ortiz, Leah Campbell, Michelle Terry. Michelle Terry Photographs. That's what that is.
Oh, cool.
Beth Grimwood. That's what it is. Melissa Coyle, Alana Crenard, Margie Coonsey. She's been around
cool.
forever.
Thank you, Margie.
Sarah Donnelly, Ken Slattery or Slatery. I'm so bad at this. Matt Dietrich. That's like the noise that you make when you see your little boy when he's like 3. Take a swing with the wiffle ball bat.
Kinda.
That's cute, buddy. Good try. Guido Pip, Shannon Feltus. She's fantastic too. Kate Myers, Ashley Wolf, Jeremy Ochoa, Stephen Rude, Elizabeth Wolfinger. It could be Wolfinger. They don't have fingers.
No.
Nicole Johnson, Gina Miller, Kat with no last name, Justin Miller, Max with no last name, Christian Vasquez, Sharifa Charles. I think that's Sharifa Hay, and she got married or something.
Oh, I think so. Maybe. Who knows?
Maybe. Or she got divorced. And I'm just reminding her of fucking pain.
Just a different person.
Or it's a different person. Kath Leader, Under the Sea Fabrics, Caitlin Jeffrey, Josh Brooks, Bryant Toole, Jack Fisher, Kay Overbay, Jason Fuller, of course.
Oh, yeah,
and he
Jason,
sent
we love you,
fucking
buddy.
baseball jerseys, bro. I can't wait to see him. They
can't wait.
sound fucking rad. I
Yeah,
can't
dude,
wait to
Jason's
see
the
them.
man. Thank you. We'll see you in Detroit, buddy. too.
Alejandro Garza, Stephanie Simon, Martina Kunkel, Pierce DeCourcy, Doug Mace sent a message because he had to change his Patreon. Don't fucking apologize
dude. Yeah.
to us.
Thank
ever.
you for
Take
wanting
care
to
of
give
you
us a
before
cent.
you take care of us.
Yeah,
And
you want
Doug,
to give us a dime, we appreciate it.
Can't wait
Thank
to
you.
see you in Philly, Doug.
No doubt.
Craig McGeechan or in DC, whichever one
Wherever
you're
you
coming
wanna
to.
go.
Jeff with no last name, Jamie Finch, David Wilson, Rob Roberts, Dita Vasquez, Catherine Morales, Shelley Warners, Lauren Demarath in Chicago,
Thank you.
Michael Hester, Ariana Folsom up there in LA, I think, or San Diego. She's in California.
One of the California. Southern
and
California
Colleen,
somewhere.
holy fuck, am I really going to see SZCZYBOR? Czibor? Colleen
Shabor?
Colleen,
because sometimes all those letters are really easy.
Right.
Like it sounds like it's like a sh or something.
It's
or
definitely Colleen C.
Hey,
or Colleen
Colleen
S.
Colleen S. We
Whatever.
thank you, Colleen.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank
you guys. We cannot thank you enough for everything that you do for us. We really cannot do any of this shit without you. Honestly, you keep everything going. You keep the train moving. You keep the coal shoveling, and we appreciate the shit out of it. Honestly, guys, thank you so much. And Jimmy, what if they wanted to thank you? How could they do that?
You can find me at Wisman Sucks, WHISMAN Sucks on Twitter, Instagram, and Snapchat. And thank you guys so much. This whole week has been fucking incredible. And if you're in the Gulf Coast or on the East Coast, get the fuck out. If they tell you to
don't
leave,
be like my dad, please
leave and just fucking. We need every last one of you.
Yeah, don't be like my dad. He's gonna end up riding through a fucking hurricane and the Harley with my stepmother on the back like a fucking lunatic.
Just fucking
no
get
helmet,
out.
just fucking going.
If you want to tell James to get out, where do they tell you,
You
James?
can find me at Jimmy P is funny. You could tweet me and tell me to tell my father to get the hell out of the way of the oncoming storm, or you can just copy and paste my last name from the show description. Don't try to be a hero because you will misspell it. And if you don't, good for you. Good job.
Impressive.
That said, it's been a crazy one, and you know it's crazy every single week, and it will continue to be crazy
every week.
Live from the Crime and Sports Studios, we will see you next week.
Bye.
If you like crime and sports, you can listen early and ad-free now by joining Wondery Plus in the Wondery app or on Apple Podcasts. Prime members can listen early and ad-free on Amazon Music. Before you go, tell us about yourself by filling out a short survey at Wondery.com/survey.
In the 1980s, a rosé swept the country.
Hey, Mike, I really like this White Zinfandel. Well, good. Now put it down. I'm going to try another one.
White Zin became America's top-selling wine. But most don't know that this sweet drink has a sour history. What began in 1986 with counterfeit bottles,
a big fraud, a multi-million-dollar fraud,
sent investigators chasing one of the most powerful families in the business, the Licciardis. But the closer the feds got to them, the more dangerous things became. It's a story of deceit.
At the time, I was paranoid.
Threats.
You touch my kids, I will kill you.
And murder.
With a .22 caliber bullet to the head.
What started with a scheme to mislabel wine spilled into a blood-soaked battle for succession. Welcome to Bloodvines. You can binge listen to Bloodvines exclusively and ad-free on Wondery Plus. Join Wondery Plus in the Wondery app, Apple Podcasts, or Spotify.